Imagine you find yourself in an ancient library, its walls covered with texts that glow with a golden light, as if they hold the secrets of the universe itself. In the center, on a crystal pedestal, rests a text that seems alive, radiating a warm and enveloping energy. As you approach, the air fills with a deep whisper, almost as if an ancient voice were calling you from the infinite. This text is the Word of God, and its pages contain a message as old as time itself, yet so powerful it can transform the human heart and elevate it to the heights of the divine. In this work, Saint Germain, the mysterious ascended master and guardian of universal truths, guides us on a path of enlightenment. With every word, his voice resonates like an echo from the cosmos, leading us to discover the mysteries of creation, the invisible laws that govern the universe, and the hidden power that resides within each of us. This text is not just a spiritual tale, it is a key that opens doors to dimensions of wisdom and eternal love. Here, the divine meets the human, the mysterious meets the everyday, and the unattainable becomes possible. Prepare to enter a world where faith, the power of the word, and inner light converge to reveal your true essence. So close your eyes, open your heart, and let yourself be enveloped by this unique experience. Because, as Saint Germain proclaims, the word is the bridge between the human mind and the divine will, and in it lies the power to create a new world. Welcome to the Word of God. The journey toward light begins now. For the beloved spirit, the blessings, hopes, and invocations of the spiritual hierarchy rest upon your noble face as you enter into balance. Let all the dreams of humanity manifest and be etched in well-done actions, the transient substance, elements of this physical and apparent world, and of the race, the incoming currents of energy into the atmosphere of the earth. It will be the work of the healers and the people of this planet. We give the gift of forgiveness that erases all destructive flesh. Each one on earth is now cleansed within the pristine substance of their presence and all the evolutions that accompany them in unity. Together as one in the bonds of the sacred, we will see more divine love manifested through that presence. So be it. 2 expansion and 1 are a ray precipitating from the heart of the universe. You are not stagnant. There is no obstruction to the first universal cause or any of it down inside your heart and outward. It returns again inside your own being until the circle has been completed. You will look at each other as I am looking at you now, and as it flows from the universal I Am presence, the rays of the rainbow flow downward to the triple flame of God and then flow outward. They are not always as beautiful from above to below, but good for your causal bodies and the radiation from any of the masters as their healers. Therefore, why does it seem so strange to external consciousness when everyone is a ray precipitating from the first cause? The precipitation exists within you. The conclave announced in the new year is always spiritual, receiving the thought form to govern the spiritual hierarchy as designed to be a guiding sign for the prime life to better externalize the great white brotherhood, collectively moving toward a pattern before the great diversified efforts of thought, feeling, and action in cooperation. One who is always eager to put aside energies for the greater good of the effort will consciously cooperate, forging their energy momentum within the design. The Great White Brotherhood has the opportunity to lift the consciousness of all, to know the perfect health of the mind and perfect beings, learning that God the Father desires the edges of his glorious kingdom. The councils are known as the Karmic Board, with the glorious being of Mother Cosmic, the beloved Mother Mary as the spokesperson, the goddess of justice, the goddess of liberty, the goddess of truth, Jinn, the goddess of mercy, and the Elohim, the eye of transfiguration, are the members of this spiritual hierarchy. The energies are scientific and exact, though merciful in giving every opportunity to the spiritual hierarchy and the world of form to quickly put into action to help fulfill the will of God. However, all of his children must be respected, and all that is required for carrying out these plans should come to fruition, including inventions, discoveries, and creations that were easily perceived by those who were spiritually awakened, bringing these gifts not to be owned but to be received. The students of life who are members of the Brotherhood present their various interests, shown by the currents of life. The privileged souls of their inner bodies participate in these dispensations, easily granted to the ascended brothers in these councils, with their protectors by their side. All energies are presented before the Karmic Board for the divine will. These ideas, entrusted to the receivers, are lovingly received and ultimately externalized into the world for manifestation. The dispensations and concessions granted by the higher ones work to fulfill their plans as best as possible. Although comparatively few, some souls ascend through the physical body to the great Teton mountains with plans to help the race. Artists, great architects and scientists, or pioneers within the subtle borders of consecration, attend these councils and return with conviction, which they have formed into a tangible realization. Many are called for such a great purpose within these councils, where the law of life is based on the centrifugal force, living in harmony and balance. Before the vivifying breath can enter, the tree must bear fruit in preparation for the future harvest. The expanding mark retreats freely to the waiting shore with the centrifugal force on the planet and the centripetal force entering humanity to experience earthly life and contribute through thought, feeling, and action. The Father chose to enter the world of form to establish his creation on the planet and in his kingdom. In the great Teton mountains, the great spiritual work is performed. The council gathers twice a year to formulate the plans for perfection on earth during several days. Brothers and sisters meet to present their individual retreats and interests, showing their conscious efforts in shaping the plan. Volunteers, with awakened minds, present the general plans and designs. Human patrons will ask questions about the plan and help to advance the work despite any resistance. All members of the human race are duly noted. Those masters who have secured the greatest embodied union receive the greatest energy from the students during this moment. The Teton Mountains direct their minds toward it. If they do not have a conscious plan, vision, or universal benefit for the race that you present there, then they must have the wisdom and balance to make that seed of an idea grow. Two of the requests made by the beloved lady, the coming generations of the race, will give you voluntary contributions of your own ideas for the Father's plans in your minds. Allow your talents and powers to help if you truly wish to assist the cause of good. Your requests will be heard courteously by the Karmic board because they always favor the conscious efforts of the individuals of the race. Such requests should be written down and presented before the Karmic board as their work is being guided. The flame of the coming children will purify their souls and make it possible for them to stand before the Karmic board as they become a part of the great family in divine unity. In the name of the sacred family, it will not only allow the students to see clearly, but will stimulate many to take initiative and align their consciousness with the flow of energy. Please write your petitions and read them aloud. Now within the magnificent retreat for the coming children, accompanied by Juan, they wear soft pink garments and hold in their hands that which will protect their souls in the new earthly life. The purification of their souls has made it possible for them to stand there and feel the interest of the divine, giving them assistance to present before their fellow members of the Karmic board. These currents, having won the interest of humanity, will help the children, especially through the violet flame of liberating love, to the point that when they incarnate, they will have more perfect vehicles for expression. Humanity has made progress for them and for the future race. During the next period, as great beings are bringing forth the karma, they have chosen to stand while the ladies are bringing those who will potentially be born. I ask for your prayers and to join with me in petitioning the Karmic board before they enter. Please listen carefully to the Karmic board, and as I, the mother of the children of life, stand before you now in this incarnation within this 12-month period, I have considered their karmas with my own hands and with the best of my essence. The sacred heart of each one tells you, the garments they must wear are not suitable for spiritual beings, as the errors and sins of many are reflected in the energies of their etheric bodies. As the builders of form near the earth, those under my presence and before the Lord of the world, the triple flame, vow to accept liberation at the levels required. Tonight, we ask for good physical bodies, so they can see iniquity with lips that speak truth, making each body a living temple, balanced to receive the divine plan, in perfect service to life and in the name of the ascended Jesus. All energies of my being required for serving the coming children, the hope of tomorrow, should be provided to them, along with peace, sensitive garments for their own needs, and the total command to live in accordance with the Lords of life under the fullness of divine mercy. Again crowned, I, the Queen of Heaven, address you, each of you, asking for this as my final gift, that you may become the brilliant Queen of Heaven. I, Maria, now speak to you, placing my case in your hands for assistance as the feeling fills the atmosphere. No. Let your own energies work for the benefit of this mission, in purity of God's essence. We are confident that by working for this plan of purity around the children who are coming, the angels of purity will protect them throughout their lives. As soon as possible, we accept the words spoken by the beloved Mike on October 28, 1980, about unity. I am filled with joy to know that I will be the spirit of this year's purpose, and during this cycle in March 1970, when I made the cosmic announcement, I took a tremendous step forward in my evolution. It is important that you realize I am the angel of unity, who offers greater assistance during the Aquarian age of liberation. Please understand that when you think of me as the Master Jesus, you do so with awareness of my ongoing assistance. It is the truth that I fulfill my role as the Master Jesus for the general consciousness of humanity. I am here to see to it that the fullness of the New Age Christ Church reaches humanity, and that you continue to identify with me in unity as we support the golden age of spiritual, political, and scientific progress in service to a much larger, more humble purpose. As we begin this new cycle of the tonal note of unity, communicating and drawing my radiation into your beings, above all, the sweetness of unification with the paths of life. Additionally, about what you were told this morning regarding reality, it seems imperative from our perspective. The Kalas, who are true representatives of the identity we have spoken of in various contexts, are reminded that the work at hand is particularly related to their carnal structure. Their elemental nature and electronic being are now, as pulsating beings of light, at the service through the elemental structure. Many Keelers consider the carnal structure to be permanent. I caution you to realize that the carnal structure will always remain elemental. By assuming full identity as a pulsating light being, you will transform the elemental structure, which will eventually become a mere structure in the process of ascension. When the elemental structure moves into its own state, it allows us to communicate more often through the light state, as there is no separation in that state. No separation between pulsating light beings, all flowing like the smallest filaments of light. I want you to know, feel, and experience in association what makes all the so-called merits complete. Ultimately, we also need to bring the Christ consciousness into the rest of humanity, which is communicating with us around the earth, working miracles that everyone yearns for, based on the premise that a divine being truly brings perfection into the physical world. Please remain open throughout the year, so we can establish a rhythm with which we can proceed. For those not assigned to other services, please keep them occupied during the night. They will share with you, and you will withdraw from life as you feel the sweetness of it. I know in my own heart that I will see you in the year of unity. Blessings and peace in unity. My beloved children, may the radiation of love, through the blessed triple flame on this planet, expand. If I feel about you having helped each one, I love you with equal intensity when you experience even a slight emotion, or when we honor God. This is one of the greatest services that the elementals can offer. I do not imply that you should remain within a peaceful, loving radiation, knowing that all beings are benefiting from your love. I wonder at the privilege of being in incarnation at a time when you are finding many tribulations to overcome, moving ever closer to the home of the realms, that sacred place. To change the vibratory rate of your consciousness doesn't matter what time you wake. Those who wake through the long night, no matter what time, should rise in gratitude to the Almighty. You all know that I am with you, Mother Mary, because I am truly your mother. I wish to tell you there are many, many illuminated currents of life that will surprise you with their great divine wisdom. This wisdom is so fine that those parents who are called to bring forward another current of blessed children of the New Age should protect these children and the youth, particularly through their radiation, so that they are not harmed by those forces of darkness. I am grateful to be able to tell you today that you are doing a magnificent job, and if I can use your efforts, each one of you is helping. I know very well that each one needs discipline as we are disciplining you. The great disciplinarian, Serapis Bey, strikes upon your hearts with great love, just as every teacher and being of light does. Think of a great heart. See each spark of light. Love your neighbor here, there, and everywhere. In this moment, visualize a tremendous light of love surrounding the world. I'm telling you that I have brought legions and legions of angels, making a small sacrifice to stay with you throughout this work. With deep gratitude and silence, feel an angel of love in each cell, each part of your being. As long as you accept the work of love, or if we could only get a small part of the divine love, you are getting very close to the realm of divinity, entering the world of form to learn the lessons of life. He was a little more illuminated than some of you are, but we are all striving with all the power of our being to reach the angel of unity. Walk within that magnificent Christ consciousness, and then you will know that life on this planet is a great opportunity. You, the chosen of the Lord, children of my heart, I am deeply honored to have brought you forth in karmic cycles, and when all blessed beings are in that cycle, you can be sure that your mother, who could speak to others about the privilege of creation, is thanking you. I bless you and created your hearts through the grace of God, for the new age, under the guidance of beloved Mike, the angel of the new era. May the earth receive your harmonious cooperative energy to bring the beloved Lord and King, Saint Germain, into manifestation. I speak to you to tell you that I have released an encyclical from the Church to those still to join our ranks for their divine perfection, as you have been told. This is through the harmonious cooperation of our carefully accepted plan regarding this psychic matter. I consulted with Gautama to see what should be done within the sincere, dedicated followers among us. What I have given you at this time, we wish to say, we are in a period of transition. Paragraphs 2 and 3 concerning the ordinations and vestments of the Church. Those who have been ordained have accepted this change, which was not our original intent. It has been introduced cautiously and suggested to them, though this was certainly not our intention. We believe that they will accept it from a higher spiritual rank. However, I wish to make it known that ordinations for those enjoying this privilege may be revoked because this is now the aspect of external clothing. This is being allowed for now, where they can wear the collar, particularly in the Mission Center in Washington, D.C., where this collar is recognized in that center, along with some specific cases where there are government requirements for a church in Caesar. However, we do not wish for others to wear it. As we have stated, we do not wish to be recognized as a church. I know the word church can be an obstacle if that is what is intended. Currently, this designation has been given after reviewing our purpose, and we believe it is better for all. There are many advantages in being part of the new age of Christ. It has the purpose of what a church truly means, and we should carefully show others which certificates of the church will be given. After long and concerned consultation, my beloved one and I have considered this inconvenience. However, it is well understood that we must implement all truths I have given, while manifesting too much and too soon, changing individual purposes. Of course, I have come with the cooperation of the entire spiritual hierarchy, using people and showing them what the true path is. These guidelines, in their true sense, are to walk in radiance alone, to be something you particularly recognize in the letters of Chambaya. When you become this example, men will follow you, for the small and beautiful emblem of the church symbolizes the dignity of your spiritual quality. I love you deeply, and it is for this reason that I have ascended. Saint Germain, October 1980, when light emanated from Venus, Uranus, and Mars. How many of you have felt the powerful Polaris and its divine complement? The intervention of the cosmic messenger Polaris within one of the greatest mercies given to humanity and the universe alike must fulfill the law. The activity of Polaris in this system, of which the planet and celestial spheres are a part, signifies the impersonal nature of such cosmic activity. This means that such a cosmic agent sends a flow through the planets in its scheme, with Polaris representing the central plan of the divine for each universe. If it departs from its place in the divine scheme, it returns to its cosmic cavity, so to speak, before the final moment is ordered. You know the importance of continuing your call, and you know the deep gratitude of the powerful Polaris for the intensification of the magnetic force before the final moment, which orders the return to its place in a cosmic channel. The rays of intelligent energy are sent by the cosmic messenger, and those of the blessed Magnus, whose force cables are anchored within the currents, dedicate themselves to the task of staying within this cosmic cable, returning to their orbit. Polaris and Magnus, with the planet Earth, make the journey of return a trip of love, assisted by non-cosmic beings within which you have entered. The interstellar journey of a planet has given a great opportunity and responsibility to you, and you can, in some degree, attend to the same matters as those of the people, bringing them closer to the Earth itself. In the same way, the message of the return within the heart is important for the Christ. My heart loves you, adores you. You know my reason for being with you. May I fulfill it. Let me not lose a single opportunity to fulfill any of this. Let me not commit anything new by the Holy Spirit, cosmic in origin, for the individual, the country, and the planet. 7 weeks and the entire year represent 7 times, due to the incompleteness of the Egyptian or Atlantean calendar, not from men. Therefore, another opportunity is given to each soul and spirit to move into the heart of heaven, placing the cosmic incinerator of forgiveness and forgetfulness. This is truly representative of a new beginning. If only man had advanced from the depths of the past, he would do well to carry with him a new and better opportunity, leaving behind the memories of an incarnation of injustices and failures. The great law, in its goodness, has provided a suspension of the pressures of life through a great number of lives. Similarly, it has provided a suspension of pressures during annual cycles at the end of each year, where the lords of karma redeem a large percentage of manifestations from all people. They will experience the greatest liberation from the chains of envy, painful experiences, and many others, recreating these on clean pages. It is customary for people to make resolutions for improvement, which is the enhancement of their nature. However, it makes these resolutions a purification that has affected your nature. There would never have been an old one. Limitations are not eternal, and only the good from the past year surrounds you. Be masters of your energy and feelings. Reproduce in your worlds the energy from the past, and use that energy to decree by the Ascended Master in Moria. This is a period of repetition, where accumulations, as they did before, bring about the result of destructive planets and cataclysmic actions. Make dynamic, concentrated decrees to fully accumulate the beloved students. The next step is protection. If you were a car approaching, it is most likely you would stop on the path of an approaching vehicle. This was the case with the forces. The approaching is light compared to the children of my world at any time. You must store through the years in your application and prevent the destructive forces that are present, seeing all the conditions resulting around you, placing the evident form before you of the accumulated evil upon the face of the earth, ready to fall upon the people everywhere. Shake me from any lethargy and go into action. Astrea, Archangel Michael, and the mighty flame have always responded to my call, and I know that you have tested the law through the application of your faith. To me, through those of you who are blessed, the Holy Christed Being is alive, alert, and intensifying the power of your calls as you entertain yourselves mentally. You are not at all free to liberate this beloved planet from all that binds it. Some of you speak with your lips, but the majority of you with your hearts. You are the ones we count on. The fatherhood and all beloved family life, divine presence, saints, Christed beings, and all ascended masters and cosmic beings enter into action now. The will of God and the path of life for every woman, man, and child on this planet manifests now. The will of God inside, through, and around all that evolves here. And so they would say, the motherhood, fatherhood, and all family core effects, records, memories, and trends align with the will of God or the path of God's life in their goodness, with the honor of God and the reference of their life inside each man, woman, and young person, until the full expression of God's will manifests. The Sacred Heart Temple, in an alpine province of Western Austria, has lived for centuries. What does it mean? It lives the immortal and victorious triple flame of God, which composes the body of the Almighty. This had the privilege of coming to earth, carrying the light of the universe, always expanding, preparing further to incarnate in the heart of God, or take another incarnation. The certain principles of existence and after, they had to appear in groups of 3 before the council I am privileged to lead, so that they may fulfill their part in the divine plan. The plan is magnificently composed of the permanent ascension temple. Each individual must pass through certain stages before they may come to earth. After the purification of their 4 vestures, they ascend with their outer garments. Once they feel that their service on earth has been completed, they prepare for the final freedom of their ascension. This is necessary in a planet composed mostly of trials. In moments when their service has been meritorious, they will undergo further preparation in the temples of ascension and purify themselves to enter the Sacred Heart Temple. Before I offered it, the glorious Lady Isis executed this tremendous service, a complex process that includes lesser temples. The process one requires to complete their mission is promised for the great plan. It is a substance that forms a heart of diamond pulsing with the Christ energy. It appears as a pink flame or cloud held in the immaculate concept. This is to prepare or reincarnate for the final blessing. I am privileged to send them forth, having promised to complete this for each one until they are made of alabaster veined with ephemeral rose clouds. Let me explain that you are all progressing according to your advancement. They will come to earth, and the life current ascends before the externalization of the heart of God and Mother at the moment of conception. A service to the era of liberation in Central America from my focus in Santo, the beauty and opulence of the contained liberation will be associated with the ray of the divine feminine. This is now in the foreground. The reason for much of this in Central and South America is due to the imbalance, naturally cradling the truth that this imbalance strikes in equal measure. The feminine nature will precede all others of women and men everywhere. We are interested in their effects in this area, the root race of the beloved Lord Sitru. I am sure the incoming feminine ray will become more evident with the fullness of divine love. The stories of glory are simply symbolic of the power of wisdom and love. It is no coincidence that these rays in South America, which have before, will once again express life through women, men, and children, in order to establish roles for anyone who is currently longing to develop, just as women are expressing more. They would open their eyes to the balance that is coming to women and men everywhere. It is like asking who they share equal power expressed in one another for perfect balance. We hope our work in Central and South America, as well as other parts, will leave you with the thought of the power of home and family when it is manifest in all aspects of planetary life. Each mother and each father will manifest this. I will sustain this for each of you. Call me angels, and I will be alive and well as I descend through ascension into this beautiful hall of angels. The purification of Long Island, the snow-covered focus of ascension itself, has brought an angel for those who will read these words and synchronize to be with you throughout the entire year, so you may have a more personal relationship with the one the outer world calls the blue of the mother, a shining brilliance for most. They are just their shining essence, and as their auras stand still, they are simply beings of light shining by the virtue of unity, which is my privilege to experience. A little like when, as Master Jesus promised, he would return. And I did, telling you with the embryonic seed of unity reborn for those who can receive it, the second coming has begun, the unity of consciousness of all life. This requires being cherished in the hearts of all life as it spirals across the earth, forming new networks of unity. Thus, life exists only because of the unity of consciousness in the hearts and minds of all beings everywhere. These are called the miracles of the second coming, and they are much more significant. And then, a moment in your consciousness, let it expand as you travel around the earth tonight, some in winter, others in summer, and some in the Christmas season that is celebrated. For a moment, be with these angels. Be with them physically. That is the gift of your consciousness. Speak to them, speak to that embryonic rebirth. Often in the minds of those who hold this truth, because where life is present, all life is already there. I wish for each one of you that the angels experience this sacred moment and feel the tremendous joy, a joy that will endure through the coming year when it is now in your consciousness. This will sustain you, and so we will be on our way to the night of the angels' feast. During this time I, and all legions of the seven rays, will be within the hearts of all life. Truly, much more synchronizing with the unity of consciousness will be there for you. The true nature of the second coming, Kul, hierarch of the Royal Teton Temple, and it is my privilege as the hierarch of the Teton Temple in the Great Temple. But I am here to help you be more conscious of the reciprocal relationship that has been my privilege to serve through. You have been at the forefront, driving illumination for men throughout many centuries. This meant the coming of this century and the work of El Moria. I was able to assist them in their work in the Western Hemisphere. I have personally been involved in these efforts within the Western Hemisphere through Alice Bailey. Those of you who have read her books are aware that I have lived a life of service and extend gratitude and love for being officially part of this work. Through the blessed grace of the beloved Lord Kutumi, I strongly feel my service to humanity through the well-done work on the bridge of spiritual liberation. This has come to fruition. I will say that in my service as a world instructor, I see that your radiance, tonal note, and being of expression permeate every avenue of life. I myself am simply a useful being to my superiors. The illustrious Guru Lord Dharma approached me with the idea of serving on the world stage. He also said he would like to sponsor me karmically. How could I not have obtained this position? They agreed with me, particularly on the eastern flank, so to speak. I was arriving at their retreat of the illustrious ladies Orche and the Lord to the initiates of the east of various ranks. This will be known as the Abbot of the La and the position of hierarch of the Teton retreat under the beloved Lord Lanto. I did this under the power of my service to life, working with my spiritual guides, beloved Saint Germain, in this total new era. I see a beautiful star or ray of light in the center of the universe. From that source, there are beings of light everywhere, from the source that is Chambaya, which is always the being more and more specific in its service in all areas of life. This church will have its effect on all the world instructors, for as it has been, life takes a certain form, and we who guide this work express it through various channels. First, we will build tremendous pressure that will manifest on the external world. We are focusing on the external, but please be grateful for the wisdom that has arrived in the hemisphere. Because of this activity has occurred, and I hope to see you in the Tetons for our proclamation, ringing the bells of the old which will be connected with your service here in Chambaya. Chambaya, the Tetons and Hawaii are intertwined in such a way that in the Tetons, I encourage you to visualize the light that unifies these three focal points. I feel with you and with each one individually, because I am with you in this activity. For if you have forgotten, if that experience was felt during the era of the bridge, we are one in spirit always, and with that thought. John the Beloved, I am John the Beloved, Chandel, in the training session, that there is a link here and the etheric focus of my heart over the beloved Lord Kutumi. I am with you for the purpose of service, and we would like to clarify for those of you who are in the field of our service that Choan, the sixth ray, had an amazing concept. Moving into the seventh, the sixth ray is the ray of the old age, certainly. While you can appreciate that we who serve in the new era liberation on the sixth ray, I brought with me legions and legions of grace, and if you felt it, you will know that they are the strings of music being played once again. As you support them in their assistance, there is an angel of ministry for some staying with you in all your services. This has been granted on the path of service, so please call upon them often. The new era of service and ministry has a tradition of teaching, guiding those who go out within the consciousness of the mass race, drawing their attention until they can begin to prevent what is being taught. Beloved Kutumi, this is for those who want to graduate to be spiritual leaders of the new age and try to share this with the ordinary man. Assist those who wish to contact the people who wish to help, gather there to serve them also in this little ray of the Christian dispensation, which has continued. Michael, the angel of unity, and the tradition of unity suggest that you connect your activities to the Academy of Instruction with our service at Chambaya. I am frequently with the illustrious ones. See, we are all united in unity, bringing that unity home. We are now at the level of consciousness, being a cell in the body under the gentle, loving leadership of our beloved guide, of the ministry throughout the day. This is the truth, and it will make you free, beloved Lady Mariam. The years from the solid security of reality and words of approval feel the presence, in abundant prayers and well-done works. Wise, see the truth in the facts. Recognize the genius, the shining consensus of opinion, an entity walking this earth, the children of God, and be different as commanded by Master Jesus. The thoughts, feelings, and actions of those who once stimulated the slow movement of the evolution of enlightenment had to have the courage to stand and remove the veils of darkness from the hidden truth, resented and truly skeptical, slowly working towards acceptance in the minds of humanity. The gift, while almost without exception, was the great river that flowed, with names such as Thomas More, Raleigh, Joan of Arc. Their names are enthusiastically remembered as part of the Great Colonne. Our man, in terms of a contemporary, looked as he navigated through the grey Atlantic, surrounded by companions who perished in prison. In that day, those great and fine souls, they are the ones who opened the surprising and unknown horizons, undisputed in the religious, scientific, or educational beauty and spiritual perfection that now surrounds the truth seen today. While in motion, the strong hands and hearts of millions of people will say, "Well done," in a year, allowing this to cut the ground for a glorious tomorrow of peace prosperity, health, and happiness for all. They will see the fulfillment of these words. Let us present an excerpt from the bridge recently to our ranks as members to refresh the memory of those who may wish to pursue additional important material from the higher realms recorded in letters of light, and others by the beloved Jesus. The earth in the beautiful symphony of the spheres is accelerating its action in the air as it moves forward. Thus, the earth, as a platform for its existence, is also being accelerated in this process, not instantaneously, but in the realm of Pelure. That tremendous acceleration, and each electron and cell belonging to this, that pulse from the heart of the earth, and the ascended beings that descend and anchor within you. What I have done and what seems like a measure, the Christ is separating through each coming child. That Christ-like nature of life within my heart will be brought along, that Christ is alive in the world in every heart, cosmic in nature, directed through my living current within every human being, not yet incarnated but still present within you. I speak in the name and manifest now. Be the full and only ones to transmute the soul within the substance of expression here in the world of physical appearance. The reward of service and love is in people resurrected to their spiritual natures and all things within and around the spheres. Until the earth takes its rightful place in the magnificent light, as it was designed by the directors of the elemental forces of the ages to sustain her. Accept now that those pulsating powers connect you with me, with any of the ascended host, with the angels. The moment you turn your attention to them, they are with you, and they are within you in the moment that our image is thought. Our privilege is to give to you, invoked. We will be in the unity of the heavenly realm with humanity, the Christ flame, and enter deeply into that which we are here to bathe in the glory of, to govern its energy, sustain its harmony, and give it power to extract it from you, to accept, to invoke the immaculate concept. Contact, and this will always respond with a being. If you can maintain the concept in your mind and human senses, recording and accepting it, it can be difficult when you wear the garments of flesh and human nature to hold a concept that surrounds you when you try to do so through Mother Mary, or any of those beings sustaining the immaculate concept in the way God intended it to be. For such a being helping to anchor more and more within the etheric and the very physical structure, that plan is a current of life. Expansion and assimilation of this by the brothers and sisters serving in the solar realm, assisting the beloved Ma and Gu, elevates the consciousness of humanity to a point in the divine plan for this universe. Again, in this unification of consciousness, both individually and collectively, much truth is present in the assertion that division is weakness and unity is strength. At the opening of this retreat, when the beloved Jesus ascended, we can see them working so fervently at this retreat. They return to the knowledge of the past and the era we are entering, continuing through the history of times. In unity, many of the great world leaders, Germaine, Pargula, and through an inner sense of their roles, move within their orbits and individual services. One of the realizations is that the mass of humanity, elevated in spirit through their well-done works, has now inherited the noble evolution of human nature. This especially stands true among the leaders of mankind, who are temples of truth that are not inactive but are alive within the mass of humanity. However, there are specific leaders, such as the beloved St. Chor and the ascended Master St. Chane, who have an internal understanding of the purpose of this work and teach this purpose to various members of the human race. Some of you may not personally know the hierarchs, but their interest is piqued in your participation as an additional part of this purpose. You may begin to feel a tremendous sense of purpose in this work, as this complex is dedicated to the manifestation and liberation of all beings. Beloved Sanat Kumara, I hope that I am taking the place of the Lord of the world. As I continue in the Tetons, and having participated over the years, I volunteered to come and speak as the Lord of the world would also speak. I am pleased to take care through the ages. Some of you may feel the presence of their hearts, and I am, as a father, pleased with the beauty that is difficult to express in words. This activity serves to assure you that all beings on this dear planet are of equal value in life, as presented in the great picture of the glorious Immaculate Heart. So some of you may be interested in this. I am standing quite apart from our Lord, gazing upon a vision of all things taking place. You must remember the responsibility that sits upon the great karmic board of the Tetons. These beings are magnificent beyond measure, sitting upon thrones carved from ivory and upholstered in gold and green here in the Tetons. As I look upon them, I think of each individual being, and none know how much greater their path will be. Please now look to that glorious being, the Lord, magnificently before him. There are 3 chairs, and he takes from the shoulders of beloved Helios and his associate the authority to act. As this is happening, I offer my deepest gratitude for the privilege of witnessing these beings, so beautifully harmonizing and moving from their spheres. Now, with the glorious tones of the Lord and King, the beloved ascended Master Saint Germain, a gentleman of great courtesy, steps aside, and then Lady Mercedes and the 3 move forward in service, the light of their beings to fulfill their mission on earth. The angels cover the hierarchy, and the thought forms that are made manifest from the heart of diamonds, sparkling with the most glorious radiance of the divine pink flame of love, continue to form, and we keep doing so. The Lord has harmonized his entire being in unity with the diverse stars that are present in the universe. Now I wish for you to see that the consciousnesses hold this in the forefront of their minds, for the meaning of thought forms is to create all things. And as the form of the Lord Gautama continues, there are lights being used in particular centers. Now it is taking place when beloved Lady Mary stands before the light of the Holy Mother Mary, and with her, as one of the members of the Karmic board, that the immaculate concept for each and every one of you is granted, with certain requests made according to the unity of every man and woman. There will also be great evidence of the seer upon this earth. Now let us see the bending of knees before our great Make Spirit, encompassing and deep within your hearts, the beloved Make, who is a great exemplar, often written about in print. Some of you may know that the mental body is sometimes emphasized, but unless you are completely in tune with this, the angel of unity, the vibration of your beings will bring great blessings. This is in replacement of the beloved Gautama. And now, I bow. Who wishes to bless? The holy Iolus speaks. My children, I have chosen to remain in Chambaya, you know, in the ceremonies, but I thought that perhaps you would know exactly where, above the ethers, I could confer a strong sense of well-being. This term has not been used freely in 2,000 years. The word disciple was not really used in the carnal sense, and some of our Keelers may have thought it was, but I hope I can give you a little more insight. A disciple of the Holy Spirit while walking in life has expanded so much that you must not allow the human consciousness to outweigh it. Although you wear a carnal garment, you will have the heavenly realms overflowing with Christ in action, and under the guidance of the brothers. They are our great divine Buddha, and some like this name, as it carries the essence of Christ. Those of you who think you are very close to becoming, I assure you, you are not yet there. This is the human consciousness. The Christ does not need to tell anyone to do it. I can tell you with full certainty that the Christ will advance quickly into the collective consciousness. This will not help you at all unless you understand it well. I was your guru for many, many years, and I can be very realistic in my responsibility. There have been some strong and true suggestions from the Holy Spirit, floating around in no way associating with the Holy Spirit most of the time, from my beloved son Pablo, inspiring the earth. That prana going towards it is very precious. Now there is no reason for the Pope to take the middle path of balance. Be cautious when choosing your words. You have come far, and I will warn you to remain natural children of God, each a glorious being. Through the transfer of thoughts, you will ascend higher on the ladder of evolution, and then you will be on the way to becoming beloved beings. Thank you for your attention, and I assure you that the Lord Lanto, I am the Patriarch of the Temple of the Golden Light, greeting you with deepest blessings. It was my intention to come from the Tetons and let you know that I have the deepest and greatest joy to announce that you will graduate fully in this school of the Ascended Masters, if it were appropriate for me to be silent with you now. From the Keelers, a Master Ascended knows that every fiber of my being is dedicated to learning the true lessons of life. It may seem like things are sinking, but I warn you, from a yardstick to measure how deep your identity as divine beings is, the degree to which you will hold the life energy of God within your atomic structures and being, the more responsibility you will have to wield that energy with reverence for life, as you enjoy it always. And you, as a humble member of this golden path, are not discouraged. I have said this to let you know that from the heart of the many guests who remain, a blessing is sent to you in the same way you celebrate a birthday or other event. They are with you, for you have invoked them. To the left of me is the Sweet Mother. Behind me, slightly elevated, is our beautiful violet light robe. To my right stands the violet with a deeper quality, encouraging each of you in the flame. The soft blue radiation envelops each one of you as a whole. These glorious beings want you to know that the first thing they would do for the world is the activity of Saint Germain's church. Any particle of life in their embrace, they will return because there are many important matters that require their presence. The radiation of their beings will be with you during this time as you become aware of the Great White Brotherhood. They are part of it, holding a position in the Brotherhood of Light. Those who have joined their ranks have done so with the consent of the Karmic Council, united in their vehicles. The Great White Brotherhood spans the entire earth. If you are to generate and experience, you must come to appreciate the other cultures, forms of spiritual life, and revere each of these things. I am grateful for the music of every land, and in each culture there is something to honor. Please show reverence for the heritage of each culture. March on in the work of establishing unity. We are here only to serve. Again, I bring you the torch of the new age, and we look forward to the full graduation ceremony as brothers and sisters. Gautama, greetings. Living flames of light, I bring light, my love, and the full pressure of my being, as I have been your guest here in Chambaya, where everyone is fully occupied the night before. I am here now, as promised, to express reverence for the light that pulses in your hearts, and for the leap in consciousness you have been able to make. This is real for you in every part of your lives. Buddha will begin to introduce you to Christ consciousness. I am an instructor. I have taught some, and I am accessible to you as an instructor. I want you to know that you are advancing beyond yourself in the sense of becoming more elevated. This is simply my nature. I say in no way that I have explored beyond this planet and have come to understand the common man. What I learned in my explorations, I now offer to you. My deepest and sincerest blessings and gratitude to our illustrious spirit, beloved Angel Michael, and to the brothers and sisters of the family of man. I have been here as a humble being, expanding my expression of gratitude to my dear and beloved brother. For many times during the heavy days of the Christian era, that Kutum was a shining light, bringing to us a wonderful example of the teachings of the new era. He is once again helping to bring the world into Christ consciousness and assisting me in this work for the new age. Now in the identity of Mike, he has a function like Jesus. I am very busy working with the Angel of Unity to bring Christ consciousness into the world. Do you see what hinders unity between men? It is the form of culture, politics, and policies. Unity springs from tolerance, which is why I am so grateful to the beloved Kutum and the brothers and sisters of the Golden Robes for teaching us how our services combine. Please also congratulate yourselves for making this effort toward unity, living it in your lives during this time of transformation. The moment was not completely ready, but now this is the time for the work of unity. I'm working closely with the beloved Lady Mercedes and the God of Liberation. Please think of me. I remind you that the Palace of Unity will be open to you during your time in peaceful contemplation. We will get to know each other well. Now I invoke the illustrious Elohim, Hercules, and the beloved Raphael to guide and protect you into Christ consciousness. I send my deepest love and lasting peace to you. Spring flowers in the garden of your heart, the shell of lower consciousness as you undergo resurrection. What a beautiful garden manifested. How well I remember this planet when, for hundreds of years, the plan of the beloved Helios and Vesta prepared the way. The glories from various planets came with great joy. The mighty Virgo and we bathed our consciousness in the seasonal changes, and the buds were being prepared. It is the same way when man completes his work within himself, he knows that he can come again and remain in the higher realms to serve. The degrading activities of humanity remove the doubts that the love, wisdom, and power of deity bring back to earth to its original perfection. We have externalized the Elohim, those who follow a part of this magnificent divine design. The mighty Helios and Vesta move within the immaculate when man's consciousness fell into the lower realms, because what affects one affects all. Their vehicles are composed of various parts. When I was shown the picture of perfection in the celestial realms, I consulted with the Mahachohan to understand the source of this, which is channeled through the beloved beings who have held this charge through the ages. But, dear beings, can you imagine the ecstasy of the Mahachohan now? For this glorious being is my teacher in the higher realms. Now we have a holy breath for this earth. Let me imprint it as a necessary factor for manifestation. Beings in the celestial realms have held the exact purpose for this earth until it fulfills its destiny. The purpose that has been required to support the earth is individual. I refer to all beings individually and bring this fact to your attention. Tremendous tenacity is required for you to continue overcoming difficulties. Although these challenges may seem difficult, they are really a blessing in life. The unascended must overcome the obstacles in their path, and I particularly want to give you encouragement, for the way always provides a return to the fold. It is a time of spiritual rejuvenation, known as the resurrection of the glorious Christ, and a resurgence of life. As the earth shifts into this springtime, you will see the rebirth of life, where the energy of resurrection manifests in full. I say with certainty this moment will allow you to express Christ in your vehicles through feeling. Let me assist you with that. The temple of the electronic pattern is now open to all. I am Archangel Gabriel, brother to Lord Raphael, and together with our dear Lady Mary, we bring tremendous currents of divine power to the human race, bringing the pattern and divine plan contained within this retreat in the Middle East for the average man, woman, and child. You may have been in the past with the beloved Jesus and Mother Mary. Lord Raphael, my humble being, and all our guests from the angelic host work closely to bring this revival of Christ consciousness to humanity. You can see this aligning with the consecration to the sacred resurrection, as we affirm this to the world. This plan will bring the resurrection into humanity's awareness. You will see that this leads to greater wisdom, and once again let me confirm that the angels will revive the average person in the light of Christ. Then all barriers will be overcome, and we will all ascend into unity. Our small city of light naturally, while you are in your finer bodies, diligently working with the angelic host, charging and entering into your environment. A feeling of Mother Mary, as you can see, is giving additional service to this retreat because she is the driving force of this quality of the family of man. Those who enter into incarnation will have more chances. The child of the universe encourages you to increase so that you may feel its power, to feel it as you work so closely with my illustrious memory of a vision within this radiant retreat, because the angels have elevated the non-ascended keyless, and certainly when they come in a nearly semi-conscious state, they do not yet face the tremendous battery of energy now concentrated by the angel of restoration, which holds a great ray from the central sun itself, who are working on this planet, focusing their tremendous rays of light. It would be best to simply visualize it as great beings of light coming and going from it, and radiant. Remember a reminiscence of the universe and send the radiation of that experience into your environment, into your inner vehicles, and know that you are consecrated to the resurrection and to the original light. Remember your sponsors often, who are consecrated only to serve you in building a firm reality of the angelic host for you and those around you. Remember, angelic brother, I give you the pressure of my light, as at the beginning of the Sacred Heart. I ask that now, as we form a unified group, we see that the hall is filled with a giant flame. Part of that flame is you. You are that flame, as the flame is our flying saucer. We have ascended with Mother Mary, with the Sacred Heart above in the higher etheric planes, in an antechamber. The process of consecration for the children who are coming. Visualize them kneeling before going to their physical bodies for reincarnation. Some of these children will be guided by divinity. See them kneeling, however. This is entirely pink, wrapped in a white radiation, held in the Immaculate Concept. Soon the flow of children entering that Sacred Heart begins to advance one by one down the corridor. We feel the strength and reconsecrate ourselves before our own Sacred Hearts, looking at each other, promising to carry this strength through these physical, etheric, mental, and emotional vehicles. We again go and reconsecrate ourselves as the Sacred Heart expresses itself, and for a moment we are swept into that flame, wrapped in a magnificent triple flame from our feet to our heads, expanding mentally and emotionally, all wrapped in the radiation sustained for us by beloved Mother Mary. It is marvelous that the divine complement of the consecration, because it is in the temple of the Sacred Heart, flows through the principle of consecration, flowing through our bodies, consecrating the Sacred Heart, expressing itself through our thoughts, our feelings, our movements, through all that is a recognition of the union we have with the beloved retreat of Mother Mary, but also sent from Helios and Vesta, or from any part of this planetary system, Therefore, the service of the consecration of the children of the universe is dedicated to the divine reminiscence and inner reality. We are all children of this, and we step aside as Mother Mary pulses almost burning over our foreheads, the divinity of our own sacred hearts. Through the infinite, which is the last thing, we then withdraw to the antechamber, which we first entered with the process of consecration for the children, many of whom are entering incarnation through the precious Lady. As her spokesperson, and rightly so, magnificent beings, some of whom we know with solar energy, and some even Buddhas from other stars, have been granted incarnation by the Karmic board before they take physical incarnation and enter physical environments. Our hearts go to these children whom we now esteem and now come to full realization, gathering around us all the feeling of love flowing through us. We now withdraw from this retreat and bid farewell to beloved Mother Mary in this temple. We are immediately withdrawn back into our bodies and remain in the higher etheric plane, conscious of this feeling and experience of being. We breathe rhythmically and deeply, remembering each of us took before entering. Remember the extra momentum for being open, active, and remaining in this higher etheric plane, affecting it. When you make the transition to ascension, when I raise my arms, I will give you your service, which is unparalleled. And before our dear, dear children in the family of man, you are the greatest expression of the family. You are well familiar that there are many children in the hearts of Lady Mercedes and Lord Saitu, beings who will be consecrated for a stay upon the earth in the new era. You should also see that, without staying longer in the celestial realms, I am deeply grateful that you have come to the new era. I hope this will be available to you. I am privileged to tell you that, as a result of the atmosphere around this building, to nourish each of you, not to mention Lord Gautama and our blessed instructor Kutum, above this sanctuary are beings, and the angels of ascension, some of whom are always in vibratory action, rising more and more. It is important that each one has a separate service, and ascended, you touch the Ave Maria with me. I say hail before your light. There is another subject I would like to address, the healing that has been established in Lourdes, where many go for healing. Please do not be offended. It is a lack of faith when they come with acceptance, especially when someone is in pain. Without a doubt, healing takes place when they enter, and healing can take place exactly in this moment. Stand before you and say certain prayers that you have promised to do, dear children. I love each one of you and want you to understand, as you were told, the healing training in Chambaya is for telling others the procedure for immediate healing. All will be trained through lower vehicles. If any ailment is apparent or felt, this happens through purification, acceptance, and faith. I assure you, and perhaps most of you already know, my causal body is large enough to give you instantaneous healing. You have accepted perhaps through all the calls, but my causal body is of sufficient size for what you may have. Remember, it is the acceptance that is a lesson from a mother to her children, like a queen in each of their auras. Many, many children from North and South America, but in Santo Domingo, will receive a special training to take on incarnation. It will be my great pleasure to give it because they will be so evolved that I feel they will be very close to you because the veil is so thin. They have many transient perceptions to warn you, those parents who have raised their hands as volunteers to procreate these blessed beings. The purification of this blessed island and all life upon it is essential. Furthermore, all from the spiritual hierarchy of their service will continue to do so. I bow in gratitude for the blessings of the mighty Alpha and Omega. This costs you not a penny. Everything in the activity of using the sacred fire could be. The truth is the need for purification being wasted by the people of this earth. Words with enough feeling, as blessed hearts know, you are the flowers, and men are just buds. The love of the beloved will be you ourselves in the world of immediate response, and we are always eager for the activity of the sacred fire in which you choose. We, as well as all of humanity, can depend on affirmation, opening that I have come to prepare you for resurrection. But a little reflection is a process of resurrection when I am expansion and assimilation of the electronic pattern and the purpose of the opening. In general, have a deeper understanding of the existence of the utopian point of view of functioning according to the spiritual needs of each one, and it will manifest during the age. There is a process that must be developed with the intention to help show to the human race their place in the unity of the family, including nations and the planet as a whole, obviously. The planet at this moment is full of conflicts, but the underlying part is that they will eventually overcome any thought and be spiritual instructors and guides above themselves, with the deep obligation to handle human conflicts in a peaceful manner. Additionally, learn to recognize the great homes, and even though they may have lesser determination, they should be respected and treated as great beings. They should be listened to more than they need to speak. Retreats are trained to help parents guide their children from an inner point of view, often finding themselves in situations, expression of their children, and more conscious of the forces spread throughout the planet. If those forces influence family life, they will have very little probability of damaging the family because they will have learned to recognize what surrounds them. It is a very positive note that might interest you because the difficulties were designed in this way to make them become cosmic parents in the greater scheme. Parents will feel a deep obligation to see their causal bodies grow and know that many of the trials designed by the Ascension are conceived for them to take place in those who are in the final round of their long journey, in difficult family situations, yet presented by the beloved Serapis Bey for after physical death. So you can see life in our temple. All these activities aim to unite the children of the planet in the only service of Lord Sayat Rui, the direction of God. In many of my travels through the lands of North and South America, I recently met my brother Santo in contemplation. I was amazed at his magnificent work and thought, oh my God, I could help the Keelers. For those of you who have read the works of the great divine director like Lord Saitu, he has been a magnificent instructor, having been a channel for rays of cosmic light for this earth, especially for the matters of North and South America, in conjunction with the world instructors in their work. He is so revered by the ascended masters in his locality, guiding and teaching to help direct South America. He has guided and taught cosmic affairs, interested in guiding and teaching just as the Lord has accepted his identity as the King of the permanent golden age of liberation. The rays of light want to teach you the same, your vehicles, your homes, your groups and your nations. The great divine director is ready to help guide the life and service of South, Central and North America, beyond the superficial cover of political imbalance and apparent problems. Rather, look at the power of the Christ awakening in the people of the world. The power of the Christ awakening can result from a great influx of light. So here we are, not used to the organizational aspect, for example, their routines, goals. A group presents itself as an organization based on past experiences regarding evaluation or not. Careless of the Church of the New Age of Christ should be anything but an increase in numbers, or if this increased spiritual radiation will have an effect. A brief review of how God's hierarchy works in some organizations. Jews, for example, suggested they would have a land blessing for the world. The Jews knew that they honored their commitment and allowed the Hebrew alliance. The Mormons felt compelled to lead justly, and today they are known for their contributions, with a solid foundation in social relations, seeing themselves as guardians of this planet, having a respectful relationship with Mother Earth. Or the Indians, who failed to fulfill the commitment like the Jews, Mormons, or Indians who were to do so. For us, we have a new proverb. An apple doesn't fall far from the tree, meaning that someone will inevitably remove it if this behavior does not align with the principles of monotheism, as the Mormons did, not with ideas of just social relationships. The care of Mother Earth seems like the mantle worn by the ascended masters as agents of God, who will honor the organizations as long as the understanding of the issue in question remains. The main purpose is to preserve the original energy investment, and the mantle of an organization or institution is not transferred from one site to another. Only when the proverb holds true over time does the mantle reluctantly pass to another, and at that moment the heavens weep for the loss. The element of God organized to carry out their work will be called upon by individual and private meditators. The beloved Saint Germain's golden age will become a reality, and others will have surpassed the fixed condition. They will review aspirants and then choose particular ones, and we have made that investment in the new age of Christ. We, as careless of the new age of Christ, express our responsibility with dignity, passing it to other groups or people, but we know the avatar in summary when we assess by our original energy whether or not fulfilling their sacred role with integrity. We must look at the purpose of their leaders, programs, and qualities to feel sure that their sacred role is respected. Sometimes, we are sure that certain skilled and critical minds have done their part, and each of us is responsible for invoking the power, the beloved Saint Germain, the conscious power of invocation of those belonging to the deity for stimulating the divine. My activity will attract attention only when those virtues are developed and sustained, and for those wishing to invoke their powers for the blessing of evolution. This is for the presence of the flames of God that have been sent to those who have freed themselves. There is nothing mysterious about the magnetization of the divinity through each stream of life for those who wish to use it, through discoveries of electricity and other personal gifts, to develop these gifts in the already established focal points, equally available through the great beings who magnetize them. For those brave enough to do so, the universe offers this gift with full momentum in the realm of nature, without realizing the general reluctance humanity has chosen not to believe in their own spark of divinity. The activity is to bring light from the shadows for those few willing to participate in the resurrection. We are all eager for the heart of the sacred fire, reaching the potential within. I hope to see who among you can qualify with virtue and the ability to develop their potential, qualified by God, and within their personal redemption and planetary service. When you are dealing with the law, when you are facing anger, the first thing you need is some control, and to bring from your causal bodies the energies that are the master control before you can serve to manage large groups of people. Life forces can be saved when managing particular emotional worlds with mine, through divine guidance, such as Buddha's physical bodies, firmly planted on the rocky surface of the earth, as Jesus did, commanding and ensuring peace. This is a very serious and important activity. The power to sustain peace and maintain the spirit of good service is crucial in moments of cosmic transition. I have lived in those moments of peace. When you stop functioning, your strength will be controlled, expanding only when you find yourself in affliction. It is all the accumulated consciousness of every being within it, all the light, love, strength, will of El Moria, all the wisdom, selflessness of Paul the Venetian, and all the purity of Hilarion, as well as the momentum of the Ascended Ones. Whoever enters this brotherhood will have all this available to them. The cosmic overseers will see, through their protective and observant roles, that all the perfection required is focused, like a funnel, to deliver the full flow of energy to that individual or place where a certain conductor resides. If the particular Keeler has been sponsored and is in affliction, they will be helped in their time of need. The great seraphim has a harmonic life current, perhaps one that is not so good, like a student who may be unconscious of such a conductor. A thread of light flows from a great conduit seen by the conductors of the ages, and it is indeed, however, just as corroded and full of impure substances. Likewise, it can be filled with the substances of thought, requiring a conscious use by the individual of their personal life currents. Therefore, the path should be wide open for the service of the masters. The violet flame of purification is a tragedy, but with the violet flame, in a cosmic moment, it can save a city. The preparation and application of the energy fields of their groups, and through their light, increasingly broadens the radiation and pressure, is a great blessing for humanity. Remember, maintain your state of grace, uphold harmony, love, and tolerance so that you can be ready to serve a great number of people in the near future, as a conductor of light and the gifts of your own. These gifts, unlike anyone else's, are built through the causal bodies across all the ages they've lived. The flower flame is an aureole of living colors, patriotic, educational, philanthropic, artistic gifts for the earth. This momentum of good awaits a radiation of light that can benefit the glory of that causal body, working only while experiencing the age. It is easy to consciously invoke from your light tubes the qualities of perfection and to externalize them for the blessing of the race. Why, when you enter that secret place, do your hearts begin to release your own? They reside within your causal bodies, waiting for your auras to be very comforting to others, for healing when you can give to humanity what they need, and continue pouring out your gifts as well as the energies of fear from those who come. Those of you who are group leaders, where you have a group of students, should know that these energies can be released from the Great Brotherhood before you begin the services of your group. In the hall of these flames of purity and peace, it becomes easier to achieve what is to be done in union, having a silent observer on that state, and a being whose energy pressure remains in that state. All of this is true for all nations described, for I have worked with you individually and today to reach your minds and hearts. Two of the most exquisite experiences of ecstasy are the moment of the realization of individuality in life and the first moment of the realization of incarnations on earth. I enjoyed the memory of those whose spiritual achievements honor the spiritual forces of beauty and opulence, written on the fulfillment for the human heart. Finally, the wheel of birth and death is sweet, like the dew on the first flowers, intertwined with the sweet spirit of your heart, the Father of Light, the home of reference to personal experiences from previous lives. A little of those experiences. I was born for the throne of England but rejected its authority. My soul reached a point where it could be effectively used, where external consciousness is often aborted or born dead before its time. This consciousness will see the fruits of its seeds mature in the light and with grace. So, I learned that I was not born of a dynasty of human kings, but from an impersonal and shared vision, enough to guide the experience of every soul awakening. Their vision of the future, and in their zeal and immaturity, often forms too early. A great master had tempted me to accept a human throne. But before advancing his teachings, he wisely reproached me. Before his ministry, the Lord Buddha renounced the self and embodied the spirit of that heart in his time, giving an opportunity to strip away the distractions. I recall my call when I remember the dreams and the resulting plans of communion with my Maker, some shaped into words that survived, expecting the utopia of bacon, etc. Letting go of all was not easy, however. Those much greater than me recommended that I prepare to come to weave the energies of lives into the completion of my personal affairs, the best in the churning and stormy sea and the heavy fog. Only faith sustained us as we traveled, and my vision became a reality, like Columbus waiting on the shores of France, walking the most difficult steps of the mountains. Yes, the welcoming class of my host and friend, the birds, the first flowers of spring, all were a part of Mother Earth and all who live upon her. I renounced my final tabernacle, leading me toward the remembrance of the breeze carrying the soft fragrance. When I gave my answer, my soul was liberated from within the heart of the eternal, with gratitude to those I left behind, children of all life, reaching peace through their questions. There is nothing that persists in the past, because this has been mine. The temple of service, the greater part in the temple of the palace of purpose, a tremendous cosmic celebration, celebrating unity in the minds of all humanity. This same day, in presence and the great example of the great Angel Michael, it is a privilege to embody your presence in my service, working on international matters and unity. I ask for the fullness of your presence to charge the establishment of the International Brotherhood, the Choan of the first ray of the will of God, the fullness of the flame of unity and the flame of freedom. Let there be no doubt in the hearts and minds of the divine. This is my heartfelt call, beloved. Greetings in the name of my humble being and my combined service, which will reach its fulfillment in the deepest heart of Saint Germain, breaking the barriers of the worlds of the East and the so-called free and communist nations. And though artificial, there is a great, powerful force in the heart of every nation, particularly in those that are authoritarian or dictatorial. And this is being felt in the family of light. This energy is being energized with the opening of this awareness. As this evolves, it becomes a glorious celebration of international service, sponsored by the beloved Lady Miriam and myself. Members of the Brotherhood of the Temple of Service are taking what you might call courses of exemplary family life. And in the cathedral of the Palace of the Purpose of Man, these brothers who sometimes need to moderate themselves through Mike and the beloved Lady Mercedes, to ensure that their path of exemplification and the promotion of the one aspect of the law is clearly seen. This will be successively opened after our retreat at Royal Teton to review the months. The beloved lady will remain active while her retreat is open. They must accompany the fiery nature of the external manifestation, and naturally, then for the deity, the flame of wisdom will guide you. When you make calls, the leaders of the group can sit together to counsel you again. We invite you to the reality of your own international calling to give them the fullness of their divine service nature, and naturally you will be assisted by the same. Surely this applies to the temple of service as well. Stay active and do not waste time. Any action aligned with the will of God should be actively built by the spiritual forces we need. These were constructed within the character of growth, so be aware of the qualities of your lives as cells in the avatar of the new age. We hope you understand these experiences. Always keep in mind that we in the Brotherhood are here to bring you to the Golden Age, not only in your existence but through your efforts. Meditate on this and please come and contemplate the Temple of International Unity, where things are clear, alive and real within your own. We bless you as fellow companions in the service of the light. The classes of Holy Week are with the beloved Lady Miriam as well. If you analyze divine service, serving in the present moment, that ray is love. It is a privilege that belongs to you. Divine service is the Christ's elevated energy. I will try to impress upon you in these classes the vibratory action that will elevate you as a counselor. Do not allow criticism of any part of life or form a judgment. In the years following these classes, our time will end, and if you desire to serve Christ, if you perceive any negative feeling or etheric energy, grab it and place it in the fire. When told to jump into the fire when a negative condition arises, see it through the eyes of the divine. What happens in the world of physical appearance does not matter. When our consciousness descends to that level, emulate what is being done. Feel deeply the divine radiation that is directing its attention toward you. You may say, "No, I desire that he does it." It is imperative that divine service appears, whether this is a teaching or one of my indulgences in service, whether they are typing or sweeping the floor. Everything should be done with the radiance of love. From beginning to end, I am deeply present with you here, and I want you to know that your actions are elevating, elevating, elevating. This is being celebrated in the Orthodox world, and it is attributed to Master Jesus. But that was one incarnation. Unity desires that you turn your attention to this. You will recognize it, but when you have followed these meetings, know that they are for the purpose of elevating humanity to Christ, and you may be well in the light, as it sends you magnificent blessings. All your expressions are not meant to be harsh, for they carry a garment of divine love. Let's embrace Christ within, and as you do so, the love of your individual hearts will allow divine reality to shine through. This is my tonal note, and it is particularly used in the electronic pattern of the Grail. Let me offer you the love of the divine. Know, each of you, blessed beings, that you are traveling, and without the slightest doubt, know that wherever you may be, I give thanks for your attention. I bless you, my beloved Moria and I. Classes of Holy Week Archangel Gabriel comes from the retreat of resurrection. Our beloved cherub, noble, guards the way and ascended with this toward a higher service. Thus, the guiding angelic presence is presented to you through the gracious presence of our beloved Dona Gracia. And so, my dear children, this is my illustrious brother Gabriel, the Archangel, joining the angels of ministry. You have not heard initiations as your minds might define, but I have been in the central sun of Alpha and Omega, and I have been there in grace. Grace is and will be through all creation, whether as a pattern or archetype of any era. Grace is what breaks the consciousness of separateness. I speak to you about the quality of the higher celestial beings. It is a quality that, through the temple in the sun dedicated to grace, breaks the complete barriers of separateness. I announce this now, and I will be enveloping this body at the global level, which will lead every person to the permanent golden age of the beloved Saint Chor. The presence of grace will go, and it will be the unifying principle that automatically removes resistance. The lower self sometimes thinks that beings have this internal and external quality. I assume that these qualities are infinite in their reach. I tell you that our great Lord and King, the beloved Christ, taught during this time, and as you investigate and pass the required initiations, this grace is being channeled from the sun and the central sun into the hearts of every member wherever you are. There the presence of grace will be. This is my second gift to you, an angel coming down now into your hearts, where there is a battery of this cosmic quality. For unity, these angelic legions have been supreme, and in the temples in the sun, they periodically come to me to be supercharged with honor. Please sit deeply, as you and I are connected by the same ray of Alpha and Omega. Grace will be a divine principle of the Avatar, and my dear sister, the beloved Mother Mary, while still in physical incarnation, has anchored the same ray of grace, sacred wherever Mother Mary is now. There will be those of you visiting Our Lady of Grace, where I can speak a few more words about what I didn't say, a specific color these rays have for you, and I ask you to discover the name of it. We are feeding you with a spoon so that you may serve others, but let me gently warn you about a particular service, for they are aspects of what you do. All things are done through grace. If you allow them the channel, you may notice a shift from one moment to another depending on what you are there for. More to serve you, to manifest like a cell in the avatar group. I leave you with these children and implore you to recognize their presences. This is an initiation for them, attracting them for a moment, working and living in the realms of the Temple of the Sun, and then being placed in their high order. These are strictly voluntary actions, evolving in their own angelic realm again. It is my humble privilege to encourage you, and I hope that as I speak, your global presence is raised to the same level as mine. There I will be, and the angels of my presence will be there with you. All life in Christ consciousness remains within you. I am Archangel Raphael, coming to you at this time of consecration, concentration, and dedication. I see the great desire in your hearts to reach Christ consciousness, and in the form of the Divine Mother, the beloved Mother Mary, or my blessed children. I decree that from that consciousness, you are Christ. You may feel almost overwhelmed, but my being is so filled with this great energy, and it is being achieved through the mighty mic of unity. I greet you, my dear children, and I bless you with the consciousness of the risen Christ. I pray that you will carry this for the rest of your lives in religious activities, beloved friends. During the early ages, when angels and forces were active, each religion was founded with ease, guided by strong currents of life in spirit and the accumulation of good. Those who serve with great devotion develop according to their chosen point of view, in the selfless service that they offer, and thus they become the very heart of the eternal activities of the sacred flame. Over time, as humble individuals, they have carried the sacred teachings, leading humanity toward progress. These beings have held their position for many eras, and on cosmic levels, a certain pressure of love has been used to wrap and sustain the unity of all life. The entities of these thoughts and currents of life that form the central heart of magnetic power come from great beings who work to make it manifest and sustained. About the beloved cherubim Lelin, I would like to speak of the illumination and understanding of those who hold the same charge throughout the ages in the center of a religious order, to cover the heavens of any seraphim or cherub whose radiation shines through and around not only the individual, but also the group. Tremendous beings of size and power form a new activity and pass their earthly substance and shift away from the world of thoughts and feelings that have run like undertow currents through individuals, holding cosmic protection. In this case, I continue to attract in the receiver's center all who represent Christ, the cosmic Christ, and sustain the liberation of instruction. This protection is cosmic, and it was given to those responding to the call through their journey across the Red Sea. Greater than the cosmic love that they possessed, do you think the beloved Mary and the beloved Joseph, along with that simple group, could have done so without the assistance of cosmic protection? The magnificent beings who came to honor and love them remained holding the activities for the service, for as long as those beloved beings, or anyone representing that religious activity, were needed. You must know, my beloved children, that you are the substance of my life. Take it inside and let it be the most powerful, cohesive force for you, stronger than any disintegrating force. I die, beloved students of the light, with the full first ray, which is my privilege to imprint at this hour, urging you into action, casting you out of the true radiant centers of the will of God. Given the world conditions and the state of cities across the planet, of positive keyless with the imperfect conditions on the face of the earth, how else but through constant dynamic demands, dynamic because that force is required, do we reach this? To Sachiel, to Lady Astrea, the goddess of purity, you have an affinity with her. Naturally, if you feel you are God in action, well, your own presence is all-powerful and can fulfill everything. But I do not require a magnified ray to manifest that. Yes, forgive me if I speak harshly, for any foolishness is only of the mind. The Christ-directed intelligence in action is evident. Notice that I say yes with one raised eyebrow. You, the Christ within you, and your consciousness, being Christed, is a reducer of the radiation in which you live. You are outside and open, but this doesn't necessarily mean you have to be in that place. In fact, you need to transport yourselves to bodies made of the elements of this world, which move the physical body. You don't have to go anywhere physically, but what is important is your presence. Through the grace of the spiritual law, presence can be anywhere in any part of itself in the world of appearances. Please do not allow any insidious pride to deceive you with thoughts that you are beyond this. It is a bold statement, and if you were so, then think about what I'm saying. Do not be discouraged. For I love you so much, I would not use my energy to stimulate you spiritually if I did not. If you are not constantly upholding them, it becomes a burden. In the name of Almighty God, I implore you to cooperate with your own observer and the progress of the race and the planet itself. The creators of vibrations in this universe, both ascended and non-ascended beings, determine the various vehicles through which your life's current flows, according to the cosmic plan. Every life stream has its modulations added to the great harmony of the spheres. Additionally, I've told you only a few times, but if you pour yourself into the eternal scheme of things, the frequency can be reached from any part of life, through thoughts and feelings, to a point. The bodies of emotional and mental life can synchronize with the harmonious vibratory action of spirit much faster than the dimension in which they currently exist. It is obvious from a scientific standpoint that all that is required for life is the right vibratory action. In the presence of the host of masters, a vibratory rate is necessary to ensure their presence. Aspiring to the music and melodies of this sound, which can be perceived by the physical ear beneath it, many sounds can be recorded. These ions more subtly modulate on the eardrum as well. It is also true that the mechanism of an airplane, the magnetic attraction of the force moving within the higher ethers, carries what can be achieved mechanically. But the law of energy and vibration gives shape. Just as an engine's motor can increase rapidly, so can a being's motor accelerate the process of thought. In this way, you will find that it is not an impossibility to sync your desires consciously with this melody and wisdom. One can be silent while still retaining a physical body of thought and feeling that accelerates the action from their vehicles, raising their consciousness to live in higher states. It is my constant prayer that many of you will achieve this state, where earthly vibrations no longer weigh you down. The magnificent plans that are now being physically incarnated magnetize these energies, and see how my whole being longs to welcome them. With all the love of my being, I can say that those who are in service to the ascended masters and saints will feel this. I look at each of you individually and as a group, hoping you will unify with my cohesive spirit. Now, as one with the spirit of the Great White Brotherhood, I hope you feel united with the love and coordination within you. You are now filled with the white light of the race of man, and together we will achieve victory. From the heart of God I come with the first ray, which guards the first gate of God. Before God's mind it must pass through the divine first cause. I come to you from the first ray, from the same sun, to speak of the intention of the spiritual hierarchy, which is that you learn the reality of God's qualities. As you progress, using these qualities, you will bring fulfillment to man as the beloved Master Jesus did before you. Michael, the angel of the qualities that my beloved Michael and I have shared in your evolution, is comforting for a heart. He served him during his greatest trials with the blue fire. I will give you the opportunity in time. In this vessel, the names of those who will bear witness to their faith, no matter what, will be written. What matters is not whether we have faith, but that faith is the foundation upon which everything else is built. Faith, even without having heard of healing herbs, is crucial. The cornerstone of healing, the first door of faith, and I guard that door. However, the important thing is what you do with your spiritual character, the fundamentals. From our angelic point of view, we see that you work with wood and concrete. Children, these are no more than ashes on the face of the earth. Our beloved Master Hilarion, who had faith, teaches this to you. The blue angels and Helios and Vesta come to you, and we do not speak to man for him to enter his coming golden age. I will leave you now, but I will leave each of you with the consciousness of your faith. I am aware that most of you, my beloved Archangel Michael, find it very necessary if you can maintain a presence. It will be the center of strength, the pulse of faith in your worlds. You will have a pulsating battery of faith. I witnessed all the glorious changes that happened when I presented the sun to you with an angel. The angels assisted the avatar of the past age. Thus, in the new age, I give you my deepest blessings, Archangel, all the momentum of the sun itself because of your faith in the coming days. With you, the definition of faith is knowing that all things, and knowing, living, moving, create the opportunity or space for things to have their natural effect, restoration or laboriously advancing on this planet. The effect will manifest, and we need you to maintain that faith. Faith is continually moving toward the internal perfection that is so real for us until it manifests. The beloved Ma is among you, the breath of fire of the Holy Spirit, in acceptance according to the conviction of your faith. The cosmic saint here in Chambaya, the head of the charge, represents the love of God made manifest. His kingdom says you cannot always be benevolent, and there is much truth in that. Feel the intensification of the doves of hearts from soul to soul, manifesting that beautiful and sacred light in your auras. I fear that they may not have much energy in their auras due to lack of attention, but under guidance they will return again and again until they become a focus of comfort from the Father, Mother God on earth. This will be achieved through this group at the soul level. Please, give these doves the ray of love. I wish you to know that the beloved Lady, the beloved Elohim Orion, and Lady Angelica are in adoration and pure divine love through and in a comforting presence. That special quality, and much more beyond that, for the resurrection of man is in my position as the Lord. Through this, healing and the Holy Spirit are manifested through the third ray. It may seem that this is more concentrated in one than in another, but the Holy Spirit is a hand of healing and rays in an occupation of healing. Now my son, Hilarion, Lord of the fifth ray, is eager for you to learn to manifest perfection in the lives of those still on earth. The Sisters of the Temple of Science and Healing are in front of magnificent rituals of healing fires, observing the great healing powers. It is one of my priorities that you learn this science, the science of love. It is the discernment of the world of man and the causes of illness through love made manifest. But there are those of you who have made the grade, so to speak, with all your heart, ready to love and fulfill the prerequisite necessary to work in the ray, where you will learn the powers of the heart and make them useful and effective in the world. These are the powers on this planet, and we can train you to be effective in them. In the book through which I hope I have presented this, we would like you to build your vocation seriously, to come often every night and maintain that consciousness. We will train you as masters to instill within you the effectiveness of healing in the surroundings. So, seek me to present myself at a human level. I have given some of my ascended energies, and though I remain interested in things you wish to have a more scientific understanding of, I have delivered these because they were much work in selecting them and trying to teach them. I am much more in the service of science and making these gifts known in the world, the channel of the science of healing within the new era. Learning in this seminar, ask my beloved, the conscious memory of perfection, the great ray of healing until your forms are made manifest. These events are very real in our hearts when we see our efforts in the inner realms. Think often of all the gifts of the fifth ray, focused through the temple in Crete. Think of Lady Crystal and the great Archangel Raphael, co-servants in Crete, especially Lady Healing. Many of the women of the race are influenced by the Beloved One, and certainly it was with a push of faith in my last incarnation that I learned the science of faith in such a way that I was not trained as a healer, but I knew of healing. I knew much about knowledge, but had to release much to discover the true faith. I appreciate the tremendous conviction of the will of God made manifest. I bless you and am with you. The white ray is the ray of purity and the light. Healing is done together. There is no purification and restoration without accepting it. The fourth ray is a ray of infinite potential from the heavens, bringing order. Some say it is the second ray, and you surround yourselves and your own elementals through invocation, which will respond through your lower vehicles, bringing a healing response. The gifts you offer to the new age are in the realm of mankind, in addition to your surroundings, like in your contemplation. For a moment, visualize the white light from the fourth ray, standing above the heads of those receiving the fourth ray. The powerful clarity and the Lady of the fourth ray stand behind each one of you, and this white fire, sparkling with light, will signal the descent into your being. It will descend deeply within you to the sacred chakra at the base of your spine. From there, the sword is placed on top of your head, piercing deeply down through your being, purifying your 7 chakras. It will sparkle through your spine, deep within your spine, as its light flows through the base of your spine, the source of your life energy. These chakras will only open and be purified according to divine timing. They will ascend one by one, building the qualities for this group to express the Christ, the being that will present itself as divine. Now I take this group, filled with the names of those who are beloved and powerful, and I send an angel to Laura, testing your faith. I command, along with the beloved lady, to sink deeply into the chakras of the souls in this sacred place. This purification will be done for you. Burned within the etheric realm, and through acceptance, you will be taken to the healing temples in Machuan. According to your acceptance, healing will be performed for you. I purify so you, as a Christed being, may embody purity on this planet through your Christed nature. This will bring the earth back into alignment. Those of us who have already returned to our wholeness will do so in divine order. This morning, what happens in this world, in the global sphere and with larger events, is the initiation you have taken. You are now committed as a cell within the Avatar group to become Seraphim of the white fire, radiating with all the gifts of the fourth ray, pressing on, resurrection, and ascension in the light of what I have come to do. The beloved Mother Mary, as Mother, has dedicated her life to being with you. This devotion, sustained for 2,000 years, has held you in spirit. She, with me, is here to help you restore and heal. We graduate when the Mother heals the elemental animal life, and eventually, he grew to become the Ascended One in the light. This is done here to offer the same maternal love that you need in your learning, so you can heal yourselves and those around you. There are certain healings on a planetary level that I can assist with as a maternal figure for an avatar. We all need that, though it might seem strange, as I carry the maternal love of Lady Mary. Sometimes I simply wish to send you my most profound grace, dispensed with great ceremony by the Queen of Angels. My power and momentum come from the heart of the divine, and through this, grace is given by God for the acceptance of divine power, blessed upon you. Now I present to you my beloved son, as the kind Lady Mary alluded to. Receive this, as you are receiving now, a similar gift that I received when I walked among you. A Hebrew in Persia or India, practicing healing, learning, walking village to village. I practiced and practiced because I was simply learning healing, learning to give to others, allowing them to know more of themselves through healing. As a healer, I came to offer my effort in the broadest identity of my being as Mike. In this time, you are developing the community of the Christian dispensation. We had it for a time, and the light came, but there was disunity. However, now I remain close as the Angel Michael, my light, more of my light, and I will not need to withdraw it. We will build a community of Christ consciousness. As my beloved brother Serapis said, these forms are for this planet, so that each man, woman, and child may recognize and perfect themselves, following the Christ. I call upon my Father to bless you with cosmic protection. Through your faith you will be led, kept, and protected by that light. I love you. The 7 centers, as they are called in the terminology of the positive, clear, and constructive aspects of the archangels and ourselves, will radiate with the qualities of God. Those centers that were once filled with discordant vibrations will be raised. Through God's light, and after many lifetimes, you have qualified to receive assistance to eradicate the causes and cores of these centers, transforming them back into their true divine nature. You should call upon me to help you eradicate the negativity and disturbances in particular that affect you. These qualities come from the Elohim, the archangels, and the Chan of the 7 rays. You can call upon them, and through the law of Saint Germain, the attention of the students will reach the higher centers of the body. When you make this call, we will respond under this radiation, and all of humanity will be affected by the mercy of the Great Council. These centers, when focused correctly, will vibrate with the light of divine perfection, enhancing your life and the energy around you. With rapid positive vibrations, these energies will accelerate the healing process, cleansing the body and mind from doubt, fear, lethargy, and pride. These higher vibrations help cleanse the etheric body of destructive influences. As you continue in this process, remember the importance of calling upon the divine for the healing rays of the Elohim and the archangels to bring the fullness of light into your being. The activity of perfection requires one to become harmonized. The Father created the individual rays, which now project outward, creating a nucleus or focal point on Earth, a tiny replica of the being of perfection. This is true. He holds it in his consciousness until a point is reached where manifestation is in action in his world. We will disseminate this teaching, training it so it can reach greater potential. The magnetism for the four elements surrounds the external body of the life current. This being emits radiation, just as it does with the pulse of love, imprinting the divine idea upon the elements until the four forces of the elements are balanced in the heart. This is why individuals must be harmonized with the vibratory action of the law. Love is the fulfillment of the divine plan. The elements within the expression of the deity are incarnated in the heart and are the only authority, not rejected by any elemental substance or the sea of universal light substance. The body, sensitive as the skin of the carnal form, is the creative sea in this universe through the love of God. From the love of God, this earth has created its own environment and manifestation with which it is surrounded. Beauty and perfection may bring unhappiness for two reasons. First, in their hearts they create imperfection, and second, when they see an imperfect form, they long to express the universal light with which they surround themselves, but are limited by it. They would appreciate the use of fire to reshape the kingdom of the universe, not just in one place, but everywhere they see that life is a reflection of the divine. I presented the aforementioned affirmations that you may be in action without undue delay. The great divine director, Lord Citru in Peru, stands before the historical ruins of a city that holds part of the tourist attraction. Before these ruins, in all their magnificent beauty, there is a mountain that is difficult to access, so visitors do not approach the ruins. However, some life currents, while the majority of beings do not see them, are drawn in. Nonetheless, the physical man has not been drawn to it, although human curiosity, as many have, can only project their consciousness so far. We can visit them and feel their essence, as described by the Kela, the guardian of this temple. The entrance is pyramid-shaped, and as it opens it reveals the glorious vision of this sacred focus. The true path is presented through a beautiful being dressed in robes, leading to the magnificence of this retreat with immense gardens, showcasing a polychrome of crystalline reflections. The overall golden hue invites visitors to pass through, beneath the high ceilings that cover the grand spaces where a multitude of joyful children play. Beautiful beings are being prepared for the first subrace of the seventh root race. We are privileged to make contact with this light-filled being, dressed in blue and a shining golden tunic. Every movement he makes emanates the divine presence in a magnificent white cathedral with 3 aisles, a site designated for non-ascended beings. For the Keelers, we can contemplate and absorb the music flowing harmoniously, allowing us to feel deeply connected. This retreat also has another entrance located in an abandoned church, communicating equally in the divine realm of the gods of Meru. Dear Kellas, from my soul heart, I invite you to feel a bit of the magnificence of the seventh ray. The great Lord Citru would like you to feel the sustaining energy through this glory that moves inward to manifestation. The news of the external world concerning social issues and political revolution has brought forth a rapid internal evolution in this area, guiding divine order in political and social matters. Your spiritual enthusiasm and hope in Central and South America are important. Pray that the pure and perfect divine plan manifests soon, and that intense activity is taking place in the realm of redemption on the surface of the earth. We will have a flourishing utopian civilization, though the earth is resting in its physical current state. The first step is cleansing, being vigilant with these calls for the powers of light. The beloved Lord Citru, with his own rays of light, is working with those critical beings developing in the north. The effects will be multiple, but the greatest will be the establishment of the seventh root race. Men and women receptive to unifying with this energy will play a crucial role in nurturing the children of the seventh root race. These etheric children are highly evolved and aligned with divine consciousness. Feel the beloved Lord Saitu penetrating your beings, aligning all life with internal light. Imagine for a moment how profound and eternal this evolution is, as I, a principal instructor, have worked diligently in the manifestation of spiritual liberation as our great Lord has. In the celestial realms we have direction from the rays of light, and he is like a previous physical test, bringing forth all the gifts and glory of the seventh ray. These rays recharge your own etheric bodies with divine energy, and you will be taught to project these rays. Those who learn these truths will be guided by the perfection of the seventh root race. I speak now as the cosmic being Victoria, my name fully aligned with my mission on this earth. I seal the concept of a victorious golden group avatar. The manifestation of the reality of God was directed by avatars of each era and other spiritual leaders, placing these beings on a spiritual pedestal on earth. Now, I enter into full action to ensure the reintroduction of Christ consciousness for every man, woman, and child. This project will be moderated by my dear Lady Rena, who is working more closely with me. It is victorious because victory is the love made manifest. The tonal note of my spiritual light can be felt through the music of Beethoven's piano, particularly the final movements. Feel the melody and know that my name is Victoria. I open a wide channel for my radiation and light. Meditate with it often and become more victorious, as if speaking in the name of the group. You yourself are within a powerful V of light, and victory is assured. Incredulity, you have a phrase in your language, more marked. See how the cells in this group represent the truth from the perspective of the reality of. On this planet, the beloved Mother Mary represented the growth towards spiritual reality. A bruised knee might have made one think, my context has changed, telling the real truth to them. They learned how to manifest quickly. They represent the growing avatar group, saying to themselves all the time, if we follow the falsity of life, it will bring imbalance and disharmony. However, always speak the real truth to yourselves. Live the quality and experience of truth as easily as it happened with the beloved Jesus. We are ascended masters for this earth, where the true healer builds the qualities. The world order is the absolute order of the day. For this reason, you must unite with the growth of the whole. Please call me. Call me through the impulse of things, and I will make it shine through you. Mother Mary did as the guardian of the truth, elevating humanity out of its deep death. Please be conscious that all the great beings of this avatar are growing in their development. On the day of Pentecost, the beloved Saint Iolaus blessed those close to my heart as I strive in the delicate atmosphere of the elements today. You, dear beings, have elevated to reach and feel at home. Now, you are in all the countries of this planet, and my radiation covers all life upon it. But I wish to express my profound avatar energy in the New Era Church of Christ, hand in hand, heart to heart with the hierarchy, in the full realization of the permanent golden age. I come specifically to bring you peace, the peace where Christ walks through man. It is very clear to see the expressions of the being who unites their consciousness with ours. I wish for you to know that the truth is right here with me. She has come to align consciousness with the cosmic flame of truth. Feel or sense our radiation in each atom and molecule of your being, the truth that is taking place in this sacred day. The joy is enchanting because you know that I do this with the kingdom of nature. When vibrating with the intensified light of today, the nature kingdom, the elemental realm, is united with your lives through the fire element, emanating the essence of peace. Let this be the peace of the mind of the family of man. Do not be discouraged, for today, whether they realize it or not, each life is expecting and reserving it to give to you in jubilation. Their doves were nourished with the sacred prana of the new in their auras. We think that, since we should assign 6 more to feed these small doves because they have not been in the heart of God, I must tell you this truth. My heart is so full of gratitude that I can hardly put my feelings into words. I learned many lessons at the feet of the Guru, but having ascended, I now understand what it means to have such a state of living in your previous home. It is almost more than the momentum that was built there by the beloved, contemplating the light that has given me the privilege to tell you how much I deeply appreciate it. Through your help, I've established the bridge to freedom, because truly, the bridge to the ascended realm is nourished with the new age of Christ. I speak again, beloved beings gathered here in Chambaya. We bless you. As a result, I anticipate a year of receiving peace through the children of the 7th race upon this planet Earth. I come to stimulate the inner introduction of more beings who are my specific descendants. These beings are doing exceptionally well, particularly the few examples of parents who have been privileged to procreate in the Temple of the Sacred Heart, preparing to shape these children, who are extremely beautiful. I am interceding with you in the name of the parents who are receiving instruction. Among them, there are those with someone special among them who have lived the presence of exceptional benefits in their beings and worlds with the vision to contemplate. We have worked hard to imprint upon the consciousness of the youth with the calls that have already been made to the fields of effort. However, we must have the rudiments of the spiritual law when these efforts are supervised by a Keeler well-versed in this avenue of instruction. I believe that in their spiritual development, all that is called upon is the sweet, comprehensive guide in the true constructive efforts, providing an understanding of the path of light. On this planet, the ancient and true path will shape the young, who will accept the instruction given to them, and when you find one or more, we will make a great incursion into the future. The youth, the hope of tomorrow, are not a mere future concept. They are a requirement for the guardians who came to this planet. Think about this. I am striving in this service, as some will say. It is not my service category, but the advanced youth of today is only one part of it. They must be young in spirit, and all those who have been established throughout the centuries will be interested in listening and applying the same radiation of enlightened training and love. Once they have gained your trust, they will demonstrate their spiritual guidance. I've come specifically to train the youth, not as something for the future, but for the Father's business now. The Beloved One has been working in this light for many years, and for one reason or another, intellectual growth and the so-called higher education should be the rule in all cases. But whatever now is committed, I ask you to sincerely assist in the intense light that is increasing daily for the entire population of the earth. The majority of the currents of life, incarnated in their beings and worlds, are actively engaged. Why have we given the violet transmuting flame, if not to all of humanity and all the evolutions of this planet, through the activity of constant divine alchemy, and not to the unredeemed servile people of this planet? Not when someone finds these manifestations in the name of the Almighty First Cause, should they accept and use the violet flame. It will be drawn to their attention when they love the Master. At the moment, they express actively that violet, which is an integral part of their own liberation, a tremendous momentum has been built instantly by using it, united with the faith that is committed to the manifestation. It is not until they cannot let go of it, and the doubts of faith remain only a partial measure. You can be sure that the will of God will express itself, like the changing of the seasons in the light of the sun. You know the reality of His presence. The victorious and immortal triple flame carries the constructive activities which we have been waiting to be called into action through the divine violet flame, which is transforming the earth to assist in your redemption and that of all. Perfection must be expressed in your beings, and I, through your usual pattern, or I have been, through your beings, to immediate action. I have been, and truly, each one of you, when fully aligned with the directing intelligence of your being, and allowing the great director of God to work through you, will become a great director of God within your hearts, the holy being of God. This is the condemnation of the personality, in which you can direct the legions at my command to transmute through your beings and worlds. Accepting through your faith in this activity, you will be reborn simply by knowledge and by accepting the greatest gifts that could be brought to you. You are eager to accept this gift. Save children of the light, I am the crown and I dwell in the glorious radiation of the mighty, the inhabitants of the earth at this time, the Kalis of the cosmic beings and masters. Upon your auras we see the rising of Christ withdrawing, and you are now approaching the light that will shine from your own beings, forming a halo or crown around you. The great causal bodies of you are glorious and intensify as the virtues of deity come through. The time should be drawn down, but not diminished. Christ arises, and I urge you to make this call. You would not be adept at this if you were not in alignment. They will realize that this is given to them with a true and greater being, both external and internal, and much greater externally as Christ rises, and it becomes a purified atmosphere for its operation as a crown of divine love, peace, purity, and beauty. Otherwise, the small personality will direct the beings and worlds. This is presented not as something of the higher octaves, but for training in the activity of the inner Christ to take the lead. At this time, I invoke the blessings of the Supreme toward progress on the path of spiritual achievement, praying vigilantly for the expansion of your crowns. Freedom, beloved children of light, I am very pleased to present this to this planet at the call of Helios and Vesta. In a crisis where there was a need, I met some of you at the periphery of the name of God, and in the name of your lives, I bring you the freedom to bring the primal substance to this planet to which you have come to serve. In my consciousness, all divine beings, devas, cosmic masters, are called to favor the evolutions of Earth. Through my presence, I am also a friend of the first universal cause, who had the first spiritual sparks from the heart, as individualized beings who came to hold the great privilege of supporting each of such focal points. You are now free to attract life with free will, designing for yourselves the purpose of incarnation, leaving within the substance of your own divine intelligence and choosing to externalize freedom, just as you will make the great discrimination, both from the one who uses it. That gift, when you take the response of your thoughts, grants the freedom to function cosmically or humanly, in light and life, or a portion of the veil of death. Whether you seek freedom of action or function within what you do with that freedom, it will become your purpose. Both omission and commission sins will be measured for functioning in any sphere, as is often ignored. So it is that freedom used, as you know, the word libertine distorts the primal essence of free will. Then wisdom comes to the one who interprets the laws of their nation, always in complete agreement with the triple flame. The man does not always know what the senses will produce, the accumulation of wealth through the sweat of his brow, or whatever happiness, the only lasting happiness that exists, comes from the universal first cause. Happiness results from fulfilling the divine plan and the consecration of the individual world as a part of that divine plan. At the door of opportunity, you have received the great wealth of life from the cosmic beings, and you are in complete freedom to use this wealth as you desire, to continue your course from the substance and energy of your worlds. When the sun of our system offered itself as volunteers to embody the focal points of the mighty virtues of the belt, our relationship with the sun is specialized in these virtues, particularly those related to Helios and Vesta. I have chosen to magnetize, concentrate, and work with the original virtues represented by the 12 cosmic temples, which represent the 12 virtues of deity. Our radiation pours forth rays of light as the planets orbit the sun, and the power of each of the 12 virtues increases as the planet is within the temple of the true zodiac. The true expressions of our virtues were distorted, but those fortunate enough to remain in the consciousness of humanity have focused the power of freedom flowing through the earth and the inner being of all humanity as the months unfold. During each period of 30 days, one virtue will completely permeate the inner bodies of your beings, again as the law allows, so those of you who have the cosmic virtue within you will help to bring it to the homes and hearts of the rest of the planet. 73. The beloved Kutumi welcomes you, children of the Garden of God, to the West. This focus is called by some the training focus of the second ray of wisdom, the illumination and radiation of the second ray. The qualities of the second ray are developed here, as they are along the path of your inner vision. I would like you to visualize this structure in the form of a dome, and the entire dome is of a soft violet light. From different points of this pulsating dome, you can feel the rise of your inner vision, standing up and observing the brothers and sisters of this retreat who are teaching. They have gathered around in small groups, all functioning simultaneously now. This represents the momentum of the brothers and sisters of perfect wisdom, not only privileged beings, but also the members of all life. As I look over the Great Hall, I now see a group of Keelers gathered around a certain topic, and they have assembled in groups. There are other details and great activities that take place when this retreat is active. This hall will be filled with teaching more than what happens through familiar alignment with various temples, like those over Crete, which contain the Hall of Science, where similar teachings take place. Our retreat is more focused on the development of spiritual leadership. We are aligned with the Cathedral of the Liberation of the beloved Saint Germain, teaching all the divine aspects of the Age of Enlightenment. This is particularly important for the leaders of the new era, who should receive the maximum momentum from the causal body represented by the seventh ray. Your sponsor will safely escort you to and from the most refined realms, and if you wish, your sponsor can be capable of guiding you further, as a greater being may have to assist you. I am aware of the need for clear descriptions of our work in this retreat, in addition to those who teach. They will always teach a broad spectrum of varied nuances, and always around such beings, as they stand, great teachings are taking place all around. For a few moments, everyone in the hall will feel the power of the speaker's presence, who could sit as the main speaker, so that when night falls, in moments of stillness, they can visualize us, allowing us to build momentum in spiritual leadership. Your sponsors are very much aligned with being impersonal and loving, as they represent the illumination and the guidance. 74. Conference with the Beloved Moria. I speak to each of you who has come from the divine plan of spiritual liberation. Under the auspices of the beloved divine Lord I Am, I have opened the doors of heaven for the beloved Lord. I tell you, I am ignited in the presence before presenting this august presence. I began, as you gathered here, to synthesize the work that must be done. There must be a vast conclusion for the greater good of the planet as we approach this time. The hierarchy was well informed that the synthesis was already complete, and we were allowed to enter into a tremendous unity, an activation within each of you. Now I can tell you that the thought form for this is like the angel of unity, with its luminous presence inside your hands, holding a beautiful golden grail. The unity of this synthesizing quality will be presented to the races of mankind. It will be revealed in such a way that it will announce the era of unity, guiding you into the dispensation of the divine. It will gather the active radiation of the octaves of life and carry it to the north, south, east, and west of the planet, elevating it toward the fulfillment of its highest potential. This is the activity of multiple beings who have moved to the home of the beloved Lord Gautama, the spiritual hierarchy of this planet, and to the Helios and Vesta system. There have been great discussions of the plans for worlds subordinated to Helios and Vesta. I assist Earth, and through my position in Mercury, the energy is increasing as we approach the change. I now present you to the sacred focus of Chambaya with the majestic white beings. Many beings are now at the end of the sanctuary, and the tremendous seraphim, the guardians of the beloved Mercury, are present. Now I present the beloved Mercury, and I see light, light, light as I approach with my energy from Mercury. It is fiery and somewhat intense. The effect in this area of the continent has been from the increasing influence of Long Island, from my humble home. This effect has been a heat-like sensation in the physical plane during times when the Alpha and Omega themselves were inspired toward the sun. The entire galaxy, from one extreme to the other, was the route by which mastery of life was achieved before blessing that universe. That galaxy allowed the radiance from that planet, and my star home I have come to honor. Now, before the final inspiration, I give you my blessing. I address the race of mankind, which is simply the gift of our nature, the elevation of this planet in consultation with Helios and Vesta. Similarly, Alpha and Omega decided to give it a tremendous boost, energizing certain areas directly into the flame. This has been multiplied 3 times in its embrace in the light you now feel, and this is something that will be brought to Chambaya. The second project is to energize the cells of the avatar of the new age, guiding, guarding, and protecting them from the brotherhood of the sacred fire that shines from the altar. A being of light, love, wisdom, and power is expanding divine qualities, and leaders are using the sacred fire through you to elevate mankind. The third and final project that we, Saint Germain, are focusing on from the sacred temples of the violet flame is the action of transmutation and liberation. As I look upon this planet, I see it bathed in this light which we from Mercury wish to give as a blessing, the energization of these gifts so that you know I will remain in Chambaya, in the august presence among you. The side ships of this sanctuary are mine, magnificent, whose main color is blue. This is what you may feel. 76. The beloved Moria dedicates this to the expansion of the group's light. Beloved Michael, as the enveloping spirit of the year and the angel of unity, the synthesizing angel, combines all expressions of light. As it still expresses this morning, it is the same light that expressed itself over this planet. What I have done, you can also do. I am the Lady Sosh, and I have some statements to impart. Follow the instructions I give you here in Chambaya. It is imperative that we take another step in the movement of the planets towards a balanced state of consciousness. You must now be sustained by your internal divinity, not questioning what is happening, but simply feeling the influx of the flaming presence within your hearts. Distinguish this presence as the activity required. So do not think that it is there. That is of human consciousness. I want you to go to the throne of the beloved Lord of the world, Gautama, the Divine Lord, and you will find the petals open. We are being called to not practice it in quiet dignity, knowing that it is the glorious inner Christ who is the balance of the middle path. You know that he is the most beautiful example of the middle path. He who maintains balance should not veer off with flights of fancy before continuing the activity of any true reality. Activities inspire so you can understand why the answer to how to maintain peace is to be in stillness. It has not been long since I walked this planet Earth, and we will assist one another. We stabilize every cell with a cosmic fiat, originating much force. I'm not merely repeating this to myself, but to maintain the right way. We will say that it is a deviation from the law of perfection. Think about what we must do as healers. I too must laugh in maintaining my calm. Nothing unfathomable is here. All in the spiritual hierarchy depend on this beautiful New Age Church of Christ, and we will show the people of this planet the way of God. I suppose I have said enough. The blessings of the entire hierarchy, from Alpha to Omega, envelop us in the cosmic flame of wisdom. With success, we cannot form and manifest contact with the divine flame unless it is commanded, as it takes its place in the heart of the living souls. We are gathering, transmitting to the central heart the divine forces, each one close and firm as part of the open flow of all inner forces. Every sincere student, if we are sure upon the rock of the ages, may gather fortitude and strength, joy, faith, and perseverance where the great law has placed us. It is from these forces, or from the matrix, that supports and brings order, or perhaps from within the diamond itself, that we shall build these forces firmly. We can automatically become particles of the living flame, so we may become part of the order. Then, for the world, not a particle of the world, yet for none of us is it good. The world fact that we, as individuals, are only those particles that have been supported in such a way so they can be used by the matrix. We will be happy to raise the hands of the order. The inspiration is flowing, and may this form a matrix for the world. The hands symbolize the power of the order to form a matrix that will help spread and defend the teachings more widely. When the children of Israel were asked whether the Lord was among us or not, they immediately had Amalek and his tribe, who originally inhabited the limits of Egypt. These same Amalekites were fought and defeated by Abraham. But outside Egypt, these Amalekites were near the borders of Egypt until they entered the Promised Land. Thus, the aspirant finds the need to follow the selfish desire of Pharaoh and begins to reach the Promised Land, continually winning victories. When the Israelites began to fight them, the great law told them to go and fight with the staff of God. The power of the law in my hand, the hand of Israel, prevailed. When Moses lowered his hand and could no longer lift his hands, they helped him raise his hands so that victory would prevail over doubts and lack of faith. From the desert into the Promised Land, they followed the path toward the rock of spiritual understanding. When their hands became heavy and fatigued, it was due to those who had been led out of Egypt. They needed the means for such things to be done, to publish the books and translate the teachings into other languages. For others, these things are not done. Thus, the children of Israel asked, "Is the Lord among us or not?" Likewise, the transmission and message are enough for the minds of a few. If, in such moments of dedication and exact understanding, they could form a matrix from the rock of faith, then the order of Israel would raise their hands in power to achieve. The esoteric work is achieved through the teachings of the truly dedicated, responding to their letters and transmitting their love to them. All of this requires much patience, and it gets tiring. The students of the order must stand as those who have chosen to follow the lawgiver. Their legions are the ones who influence the minds of men, even those at home in this order, persuading them toward humanity and the immediacy of the new age. These are the same forces recognized from past eras. And just as it was in Noah's day, so it was in the days of Lot, the son of man, who will be revealed. Thus, even the splinters and dust that result from the great law will play an important part when the great law cuts deeply. Allow the currents of life to sweep over us, strong and polishing. For we shall not fear, as long as we know the love of the one who will unite our efforts. Let us stand firm and raise our hands, spreading them out and enduring as long as the power of the order is there for the achievement of Israel, the diamond globes, prevailing over all. Do you love your Lord, who can only fulfill the forces of his power? Do you absolutely believe that the diamonds are ready to withstand the heat of transformation? That their personalities have been transmuted into a refined substance to join with others of similar substance for the benefit of humanity at the threshold of the new age, with their eyes directed toward the coming dawn in the east, not knowing if the land will open widely to reveal the temple of light and the glory of each one with great power. We will work tirelessly for our own lives and for the world with serene joy. Here I will dwell, trying through my own life current that it may enable your presence with us, a desire to become conscious of the peace and balance that dwells within the infinite, and the ability to carry through the quality and nature of God for your neighbor. After my liberation, I have always emphasized the greatest instructor, the ultimate pattern by which words are easily obtained, millions of words by the wise, by the saints and instructors since ancient times. These words have been read by aspirants, but the mental body does not add one iota to the stature of guiding qualities of radiation. There are always forms and means through which this evolution can not only be touched, but awakened from the slumber of the ages, and again animated, walking in serenity and dignity, the same that has been preordained for all life, the electronic life that forms the heartbeat of the spheres, incorporated into the liberation of hearts so quickly that millions and millions pass from their physical bodies in a second. To you, a song reaches you with a pattern indicative of yourself, a cross, a dove, a flower, the beauty beyond which they could be stopped in their descent. Within all those electrons is all the power to heal the sick, raise the dead, and transform mastery of the ascension in the Christed presence, a stream of light. Feel for a moment that not once in a 24-hour period, not once in the world of forms, but every instant millions pass into the control of your mental body. Those inner vehicles pressed into your aura remain there to be consciously observed. I would like to charge your consciousness with hearts that contain within themselves all the forces through which the stars are maintained in their motion, the turning of planets, and directed through the galaxy. Feel that, O beloved friends. There is healing, the infinite and the absolute with no need. There is the instructor who unfailingly leads you along the right path through the use of your forms. There is the true constancy that can manifest as the requirement of the hour, because this is in your flow, and there is no limit concerning the temple of victorious achievement, the electronic pattern of a flame of victory with tremendous power, representing the purity of Christic consciousness. I suggest that we feel the halves of a cross pointing upwards, the centers forming a flaming V for victory. The beloved one, individually and in the mass movement for this victory, is the victory of the knowledge of the previous steps to be assimilated, representing the flame, combining the purity of Christic consciousness expanding. This describes the victory not only in the three higher centers of the being, but likewise, as before, in past times, when the Earth reaches a certain point of agitation. From Venus, this is accelerated, and as the light is increased, the same suns, this agitation may seem like a period of transition out of the consciousness of total surrender before the victory of the light, the place where we must have incarnated those souls who bring the invincible victory of the light in their own being, giving humanity the continuous movement toward the light by surrendering to that light previously. Let me revisit this with you again in the body at night, in the company of your sponsor, who brings the golden force field over the British Isles to enter this temple. Then, as there is a white force field in the locality of a crystalline clear substance, one with a pink radiation at the center of these three, the crystalline substance burns with the flame. The central temple is particularly dedicated to the perfect balance of the activity of the heart, known as a preparatory step to assist. The three outer temples are then dedicated to perfect love, perfect wisdom, and perfect power. Brothers and sisters who serve in this retreat are part of their own evolutionary path. They may be sponsors, which may surprise you, and they will try to project the essence of that beauty, the mother of us all in Venus, the beloved, the tonal note of Venus, and with all the mighty power affirming the beauty of each of your currents, the eternal beauty within this sweet planet. Our victory is ours. The victory is Orion's, and those of you with inner vision will see the last minutes moving in, the center having a rose that extends, resembling a sun of pure divine love. During my life, I have invoked much love within which I have come to represent a council that, along with the Elohims, as a unit we have much to offer. The power of the Avatar group has been guided by the Elohims, and we have been inspecting this activity. We have some advice to give on this excellent expansion of light, which must be balanced by the centripetal force, which is the unity that is the nature of pure divine love. If there is too much expansion of light without the divine, the precipitation can explode into parts, composed by the action of pure unconditional love. You are aware of this by your studies of the law. That is why I am here. and that is why the sun, with radiant rose petals, envelops this planet now, wrapping its atmosphere with cohesive, conditional love. That is the success of the cosmic event when I speak of the divine force of our Father, Mother God, Helios, as Helios always must balance expansion in the loving embrace of the Lady, the growth of spiritual evolution. My beloved Lady has been with us through our own evolution, negating the world's. Yes, we are in training, yes, the earth, for you to see how similar I am to you all, as conscious as you are. The Holy Amazon too is a god and goddess, explaining the great god and goddess son Hercules. Through training they became gods and goddesses, yet at the same time they share a certain part of their own evolution with others. I myself embody this form in the heavens, and as such, those who take their place as Buddha still hold a part of this. Those who are presently striving, one of you, I encourage to think of how to become love to love. This is the requirement for the days ahead, because I will be here radiating, and radiating to each of you. My being in the reality of surrender is Serapis Bey's brilliant cells in the great heart that is flowing from your hearts. You will now live and reach the other shore safely in your spiritual life. You have had many opportunities to find, and my heart is truly filled with joy. Through our field, you have passed through many tests, and we in the spiritual hierarchy have observed all that you have achieved. It has been many centuries since I have stood before such a group of dedicated Keelers. I say this because when you are in Christic consciousness, I am here to lead you around the planet Earth with a tremendous opportunity to serve the light, through many trials and tribulations. We do not praise men when they have only achieved consciousness, where they accept praise in a manner that rises and directs their rays of celestial light. The Church is no longer the child that begins to ask who originated this, the Keelers of the Avatar group, the cosmic and ascended beings, and the attention given to every being of that sweet earth, blessing it with a higher vibration, safe as you well know. And let no one begin to ask how many more. We are harmony. It is the tonal note helping that movement inward toward the final orbit. The movement has already taken place. We have had a realization of the light that is being directed. To speak, there will be another inspiration. You see, I knew. I don't know, I suppose I am a great disciplinarian, but I love every particle in this universe, and that is why every grain of sand, every blade of grass, all the earth is so precious, because we are all one. Let them have respect for all life, no matter what. Our ability, as I know you are aware, is that for which the blessed Jesus holds. I speak and continue in your harmonious form, in truth, overflowing. Think for a moment of the beloved Mike that we are all striving to make this. And King, the beloved saint, now I bow before your land. And parting, I say, go forth under the banner of the inner Christ, the banner that is so bright in the sky, they love you. Beloved lady, circular I have been called from the great silence, and the call of your divine sweet love dedicated to you surrounds you in a circle. Two beautiful spirits are with me in my humble being, the circle. Within this is the beloved Lady Immaculata and the beloved Lady Clove, the silent observer. One of our circles will also form a radiant circle, bringing the exquisite radiation to the north, beloved Lady Clove, saturating Long Allen's elementals as they step into their circles, the intertwined circles of the elemental kingdom, the circle of an elemental spirit's influence. One circle is a sacred space, and I would like sacred spaces to pass so lightly, even in the great elemental spirits of my own sacred realm. Recognize them from the silent to the most diminutive in their midst, trying to keep the sacred space in this realm. That is all they need to remain conscious that humanity has incarnated in the divine, held in my own heart, emerged and will serve humanity, and that she is all that is needed. The spirit, nothing more. You have seen the effects when humanity does not give, and then comes the elementals that do not grow and do not rise to humanity, their own anger, their own fear, and how they are created. These things have filled some of their own circles. My own circle is the entire universe, the 7 sacred spaces, and they have recognized my presence and the sacredness of the elemental kingdom around you. Grow and prosper, for the elemental kingdom is well. The main thing includes your physical, etheric, and brilliant vehicles, the vacillating elemental spirits developing toward the observers. My own court will be with you as the earth turns, because you are in the circle of the Immaculata, in my circle. You will be in different places, no matter which direction you choose. Have you ever wondered why in paintings the circle is simply integrity, and before completing the circle, each will leave it as an inheritance for this world? The attributes of God in all the 7 rays that you can call upon me for, by the attributes of my body with which you are currently evolving. My gifts are in service to my kingdom and to life. Everything that exists in our sacred space, may you have a pleasant day in the light. But as you take the light and expand it, it must unite with that light as it is filled with great love and great feeling. The travels through and around Long Island, the city of New York, will be accompanied by each with the love of the Avatar group and the Lord's legions. My own legions will also be with you as you enter the circles and leave them as part of a kingdom. The divine principles, the beloved Dector, shining beings of light and eternal life, when they themselves became self-aware intelligence, then knew the power of victory, responding to their thought and feeling. Every positive action that comes with the realization that unity with one another brings constructive results of the inner realms, and they built within. There is now an impulse from the power of good, enough stillness, enough balance, and above all, the power of God released through the feeling within their causal bodies. They lived there in the first realm, with the mighty. Their worlds were filled with the power of the divine. As their consciousnesses became as yours, from those abstract ideas, forms, and profiles, no opposition or disintegrating force could form. As they entered the third realm, and from their thought forms, they gave life to them, speaking love within that realm. And so on for those who choose to take incarnation on Earth, the land of the delayed from other systems, shining the victorious light from their centers. Resistance against the victorious achievement, fear, evil, and when energy in the external world diminished, the vibratory constructive action of resentment, rebellion, and disillusion acted. All these experiences lowered their light. Now, we come again to give you the law. You grasp the possibility of the etheric vehicle, the murmur, the grumbling during those times when your energies did not propel you. The external world chose to call a portion of these discordant life experiences, weakening your light, despite your efforts to apply and visualize these etheric remembrances. Substantially, if any of you had seen your own discordant creation, you would recognize it in the depths of your own vehicle. Because of the service we hope to render, a great service to your neighbor at this moment, as discordant as it may be of each of you, mentally and emotionally. Now we desire to restore the etheric garments, friends. Also, those who have had the fullness of mastery of the powers, records of victorious achievements, this I wish, triple life through the power of all things that required placing their own through the conscious use of their centers. The life of God flashing from the head, as in Atlantis when priests and priestesses used powers to bless life. Then they knew of the great flood. They navigated in boats, protecting the sacred places, which were to remain upon the land of victorious achievement. Now, in the name of God, the immortal flame of life, sustain the will of God for you and all men. It is the will and all good and perfect things when an appearance of victory is commanded. I command all the power you have to all human appearances. You have no power to move yourself from the lethargy of centuries of experiences. You will know perfection. I ask in the name of the ascended Jesus the Christ that you are the positive power of life, in contagious power when your inner bodies shine within you. You will become that, and I give you the flame of victory, the love of Venus, and those who have returned to our star. They have arrived magnificent when their final journey ends, and they return to true liberation, beloved ascended Master Saint Germain. The liberation is in its essence. If you examine it, you will find yourself thinking of it as an aspect of escaping servitude, shedding the shadows. I will show you the positive aspect of it, as self-conscious directing intelligences over circumstances. This is my demand for the sacred fire. Until the sacred fire within you shines outwardly at your command, wherever you find it, bringing it to your awareness, the Elohims are trying to show you how to handle it within the flame in your heart. It is within the hierarchy, guided by some divine free beings of opulence and healing. You must come to be, with your hearts beating, learning to release that efficacy to act for you, removing the pressing treatment of the law inwardly. The sacred fire acts. It is intelligent and it acts when the activity of what is in contemplation is moved. The activities of the sacred fire in this way move through your worlds, your homes, and your affairs. If it is dwelling within your hearts, which are meant to be the master control of a series of bodies, Your emotional worlds are made of water and fire, and your mental bodies are made of particles of living, vibrant flames. As for you, your bodies are carnal. Ours are bodies of fire, functioning within bodies of fire. In the third world, you are entrusted with the power to pulse in your hearts. Once you can use that power, you will have gained the right to the fire of liberation in its fullness, the power that is yours. Before you gained the right to stop in front of it, you have gained the right to consciously function with the element of fire anchored within a body, both external and internal. Therefore you now qualify. You have been chosen by all the living heart of liberation, and you are being prepared for it. Through this process, you must depend entirely on God, pulsing in your physical hearts, waiting to move through your worlds and manifest to you. The flame of those who have learned through the sacred fire to rely upon it will support them until the power of alchemy occurs. Before this, I felt a great attraction to it and learned through the teacher of the various elements of the world, trying to develop formulas to obtain it. Reducing the idea of transmutation, finally, we did it. I learned that what I most desired was within the divine nature of my teacher and my own. Humanity feels that they are so important, and in one day, this was too much of an achievement. Therefore, there was tremendous interest in things of this nature through the initiations of these years. And being in your spiritual energies today, as the enthusiasm of the average man does not last long, turning to ashes, yet spiritual enthusiasm endures through deprivation and through emotional and physical struggles, adding coals to the fire that would otherwise diminish the light of an inferior man. In our selection, those swept away will form the pure diamond core of the flame. Truly, we will build a foundation beyond the moment when your blessed garments are within the fire garments you have earned. Or the permanent central temple of the flame welcomes you to the temple of final Christic purity. This real being of white fire has come as requested after a visit there, and will remain as the manifestation of God in a body of fire, in form, so that it may be known by humankind through cosmic means. Yet in this case, it is so dazzling, this body of fire, that humanity will attend this retreat to accomplish the goal of humanity's ascension inwardly. The project will inspire not only this vision of interest in humanity, but a desire to discover spiritual fire. We will rehearse a plan that we here have developed, not once but several times, and that has been a delicate operation. We hope that clarity and the Lady Astrea will increase the light for those who pass through it, even once, to develop among them the presence of the God in each one, at the risk of increasing their internal vehicles. However, after much reflection, it was felt that now was the time to increase the light in the safest way possible. Volunteers have been selected across the full spectrum. The general light is being increased, with more clearly defined results. Thus, the process is for those who wish, through free will, to increase their internal levels with my own fourth sphere, in the focus of ascension through your history. It is only upon those candidates for ascension who volunteer to increase this free will and choose liberation externally. They may not be fully conscious, but will cooperate with the force of increased light with full awareness of their work. This may seem too much for them, but with the help of these volunteers creating a force field through the teaching of the violet fire, Mercury, the beloved Kutumi and the brothers of their service, they will continue to illuminate the way for others. They will each perform their part in the elevation of their own evolution towards the final ascension. Illumination will mostly take place in the powerful Victoria, as it has been giving attention with victorious expectations regarding these precious volunteers, and the enthusiasm of creation at the final retreat of millions. Now, beloved beings, think of the human harvest of the world, Gautama. As for you, in this activity, according to your selection of your inner volunteers, many of you have exemplified your ability through the work of God, bravely, despite knowing that internal shadows will be revealed by the greatest of your spiritual leadership. As examples to others, after years of training with the ascended host, the light will be victoriously increased upon you by the beloved Saint Germain and Lord Kuthumi, and they will be present here, with the violet fire in the amphitheater. The great number expected is of Egyptian design to fuel the flame of ascension through the preparation with the violet flames, and they will enter the actual focus of ascension. A space with adornments of classical Greek architecture, I myself, at that radiant moment will have internal vibrations and a moving vision of the inner vehicles standing with these Christs at full stature, along with their tangible angels. As much as possible, this will be repeated, and we hope that it will include everyone mentioned above. There will be an increase in the light of the retreat, as it was through the retreat of my stellar home, which will continue playing a larger role until the original goal of the beloved Sanat Kumara is fully achieved. As children of light, take advantage of the sacred fires and cleanse yourselves. Present the greatest harvest to Lord Gautama and expand this electronic pattern in your happiness and busy life. I love each of you and decree for each of you that Christ transforms that human consciousness with the purity of Christ. Amen. The goddess Sun Isis, children of the universe, truly celestial, is the radiation within. Beautiful interpretations of decrees and songs, glorious tones are reverberating through the universe. I will make only one deep affirmation, and that is immortality, the depth of love and wisdom. I must say something about Egypt. Egypt is where the powerful pharaohs thought they were wise, and to this day, those vehicles still exist through the ages. Man has been greedy in trying to find gold and jewels that were of little use, left to show humanity what it could learn from the external world. Be still, and know that I seek your immortality within when it can be found. With protection you will walk this plane of earth, here and everywhere, and in the stillness of your beings travel to distant stars. This cannot be done with the external mind, dear hearts of light. You know how it feels to be on a long, long journey and finally decide to return home. Relief passes through our beings as we reach home, and each of you and many others, the avatar group, you, the cells, must realize that when someone advances forward for a moment, feel the gratitude and experience what we feel after centuries of waiting for this to take place. Meditate on this, dear and dedicated ones. I could not, because to love one is to love all and their consciences. We have said this through the ages, amen to each other, and that includes loving the components of your vehicles, loving the water of the earth and the fire because you are the stimulus and the light to this planet. And by doing so, you will be capable of traveling with all your bodies as one note in the symphony of creation, harmonizing with my loving beings in ecstasy so deep that I can only express my love for you. Feel the wisdom and the power of the inner flame in each of your hearts. The victorious triple flame from Chambaya, let us go in the embrace of unity. There is only one light, one source. My dear beings, remove your attention not only from your physical garment, but wear the garments of light, and let us silence all that is human. As the presence of the celestial court that I have brought, particularly over this sacred sanctuary, and through the next period, we will receive the seventh ray. Let the essence of light be brought forth, and you, as the God of liberation, the beloved Son of Mother Mary, the beloved Lady Mercedes, and the atmosphere, gather the wonderful brave lieutenants who serve with me, the beloved Julian and the beloved Godfrey, those in the full robes of the violet authority, the garments of authority that accompany this mission. As the goddess Isis blessed you with her radiation here in Chambaya, it lasted for 24 hours, renewing and ready to make a change to human consciousness on this planet. As to the human condition, I say to human consciousness, let my people go, and so it shall be. From the beloved Helios and Vesta, this has all been cosmic, and rightly so. The tonal note of the dispensation of the beloved Jesus, the tonal note of the new age of the seventh ray has not yet manifested on this planet. This fullness of spiritual liberation, as the shepherds have done, so shall it be. And I too, together, will lead this race in consciousness with gifts, and as the past age had its tools, so too was invoked the nature of the love of the sacred Christ. You must act according to this in your home and vibration, shepherding my people to the home that reveals itself, along with all the seven powers of love, known as the violet flame. This church has been referred to as disciples of the violet flame. They are one and the same with the aspect of the love of Christ that is expressed through the violet ray. I advise you to guide your lives when you consciously choose to shepherd with love, working with the sacred fire. You may reduce yourselves in it. There is a suggestion for those lost sheep. They are coming home, and to whom else do I turn but to humanity in the world of illusion? Let my people go, the sacred gift of the new age, and I decree a higher level of unity and a level of strength, as this church has experienced, that it may be your gift to me, and I am very, very grateful. Formal and ceremonial events, yes, they are through my consciousness. It was my favorite word. My friends are my servers, but this is not just friendship. It is a deeper spiritual friendship and a feeling of service by duty, especially in my church. We, those of deep and spiritual camaraderie with you, and the angelic class evolving upon this planet, are bound deeply with all life, as this fulfills my golden age exactly in front of cosmic forces. And again, with the full momentum of the entire cosmic and ascended host gathered in the Tetons, the planet, and all the forces of light and love, we bring this to human consciousness which seems so diffused. To my people, let my people go. The beloved God, who are incarnate gods, come to earth as the earth spins daily. Let the light of the day forward shine, naturally the etheric garment, your respect for it. Each of you is a sun of light. The sun's light is shining like a gentle rain or a torrent to feed, dedicated to feeding the planet and the elementals in your daily existence. The food defined now. You know that the beloved avatar of the new age, precisely what the essence is from the cup, yes, but communion is the inward drinking of the cup of your consciousness to nourish the thirsty, to feed the fatigued. Ladies and gentlemen, the suns are very grateful to be our ambassadors of light upon this earth, as there are many spiritual activities on this earth in its orbit, bringing others toward the higher vibrational rate of the New Age avatar. The keelers of the daily flame of ascension, beloved friends, it is my privilege and honor to bring you something that is constantly rising from the depths, a magnetized light as a ladder, ready for those who are prepared to ascend. This magnetization of many priests, who have been composed also of ascending energies, invocations, and aspirations of each life stream, for the brothers and sisters of the Temple of Ascension, all nations on this planet, of the flame of ascension. Therefore, the flame is dual in activity. It is the current of energy attracted and sustained on the surface of this world by the Ascension Brotherhood, and is also the angelic host imprisoned here. The record of every ascension exists because this flame is a legacy from the first and second root races, and all their activities that came with the delayed individuals in their purification, and the gratitude of the life stream. When it is to know the eternal liberation from all kinds of bindings, it is hardly describable. The ascension is for all those who have become part of their beloved ones, who have passed through these energies. These energies are within it, this vigorous flame, with a consciousness of a negative feeling, the positive, and it is sometimes bound to affect the discipline. It may seem very severe due to the weakness of the non-ascended individuals, but those who have used this flame of the ascension are ready for ascension and are invited in their moment, or a sponsor, one of the ascended beings, goes toward the river of that ascension flame, the flame of the beloved. I have loved it for so long and have loved it well. They can ascend. That condition from affliction toward peace, from discord toward perfection, is a student body, mostly unaware of their worlds. If their souls are overwhelmed, if there are depressions with the people they work with, they can bring about the ascension through their broadcast means to bring to life the influx of the natural state of happiness and harmony. The flame of ascension is a wonderful antidote for the most difficult of situations. Many of you are directors, and you will become instructors, if not in this world, through the change and earn your ascension. Please gather groups of people who will not always have the same mental, etheric, and physical conditions. You might have one person emotionally stable, but with another condition, yet through you will be able to prepare that great conglomerate of them. They are the conscious students. You may have a room filled with them or a representation, and it is a fortune for you in your world. I would give you nothing more to manage, but you, the beloved Gabriel, the powers of ascension, with the vibrational action inside a vibration of the spheres. Dear beings, this is a time where there is too much depression, too much fear with the atomic explosions, and the end of civilization, the humanity of men and women carrying the weight of the atrocities of the concentration camps. Ascension will pass through and around those areas of Europe, Africa, up through and around the places that were at war in the last half-century. The energy is intelligent. Energy is thoughts and feelings, and precisely science has proven that the atoms in inanimate objects are pulsating and in constant movement. The voice of a man can be heard, especially when we, from the energy coming through us, take a mass of energy of a complete class, the best of your physical bodies, and that is the best way to direct the speaker within. It is important that the feelings of immortality, that certainty of life belonging to this earth, after the second death is removed, will come to humanity's feelings, inside the etheric consciousness of humanity, into the heart. Death only exists in eternal life now, and humanity sinks into the swamp, many of them disillusioned, and they either fall asleep or the great Hilarion takes a long time in healing, particularly in accidents or through a gradual and declining illness. These individuals transition naturally. The victims of wars need healing, and Hilarion takes care of them. Then they retreat from physical life, mentally, and after the change called death they pass through their good applications, and the bridge can remain in the realm of the sleepers. This makes them very happy, like waking up early to lift them, and perhaps you have wondered why you are disturbed. These sleepers, and the agnostics after 6 months, have a tremendous resistance, requiring the power of the beloved, with the activity of assistance that is happening for great things to occur for the progress of the world. Please do not allow depression in your lives. I speak of this with a purpose, because with the current world you may find the need for the assistance of the current, which concerns the same thing, beloved ones, having great assistance in attracting sustenance and food for people. The Lord, like Moses before the Israelites, will naturally multiply that substance that you already have. You will see that these flames are so ethereal that some may see them in ordinary things, like a piano or a harp. I bet you haven't thought of practices like this with the fingers of this hand. We have been within and protected, magnetized, and it seemed right for us to have given the opportunity of a new sponsor, and they enter a new reality. I thought it was a beautiful idea. But let us make this into the 5-pointed star of beloved Sanat Kumara, blazoned for each volunteer, expanded upon so that they can live within the body of Kumara, the beloved cells in the growing body of the Regent and the cosmic Christ for this planet. I speak on behalf of God in Chambaya. We, with the beloved Buddha and the Divine Lord, together form the will for humanity. The light from these two heavens will be directed to a greater expression of light from the cascading cosmic arc, this radiant intensity which is penetrating. It is God's will that you experience the restoration of this earth and know this planet. I also wish to speak about service. You are aware of the evolution of this, which carries the sweet radiation of Venus, a hall of Christ's love, fulfilling a greater good. It will mainly be involved in Venus, entering the hearts of men. The beloved Mike will use this light from Venus for the world, just as it was extracted from him during this powerful gift of return. Now, as always, he continues giving his life for the human race. As he always said, please let this completion be part of the long annual activity of Christ's love. The beloved Lord Gautama will remain in his cosmic impulse of peace after the harvest of equilibrium for this planet in the cosmic flame of the divine. Therefore, he will officiate the inauguration of sacred events. It will be the Divine Lord whom they will feel. We, beloved beings of Sanat Kumara, want you to know that part of Venus is living inside this star. This is my electronic pattern. You are truly living inside this star. This is my gift to you. You will live inside me, the cosmic Christ, and your heart flames will develop inside me as externally as possible. When you visualize, you will be within the body of Christ, my complete body, and I will extend my own hands to you in the Christic nature, as far as you will allow, beating deeper and deeper until the very outside is transformed from your faces. This is my service to God, and we will wait for the tremendous help, especially for the volunteers, the Keelers, and the precious Christed beings. My beloved Venus and I send you this, in the form of this star with the triple flame, still visibly felt in the gift of your attention and sustained harmony. Therefore, the plan now is for a short period of time to ensure the will of God as spoken on this planet, with the combined efforts of Chambaya, the beloved Micah, the ascended Jesus, and the beloved servants in incarnation. It will be an incarnation in the present. I offer my heart to those of us who guard the triple flame of the holy Christed beings, who do so to allow the liberation of knowledge and experience until little possibility of personal interference remains. Christ said, "Do not throw away if afterward you feel that you still do not know the Christ or the Christic power in your life. Be vigilant so that you do not deviate from the carnal being or personality. You will experience to some degree a new peace. However, exactly at the peak of this experience, you will realize the love, wisdom, and Christic power in the teachings of the middle path. Sometimes, the student or Keeler must balance by doing something in a disciplined way. They may take a vacation and flirt with it, but the middle path of balance has nothing to do with the personality, except in how to deviate from it. The middle path, with its qualities of God is selfless, devoted to life and spirit. Whether actively or passively, the path must be let go of, without fanaticism of letting go all at once or anything in your life and environment that sustains your connection to life and what deviates you from it. This includes returning to my first thoughts. Like a church body, you need to be with us, who hold love, wisdom, and manifest the fullest expression of these on this planet through the beloved Master Jesus when he was incarnate in lower matters. He only referred to the Spirit, that process he set in motion as the Savior of the world. This same process, as an avatar, was the chosen way to express the Christ on an additional personal level, deviating from the superior nature of God. Let it go from the human being. If you are faced with something new, what you resist will persist. Instead, seek God actively in some way. However, when you have found a great sense of purpose in doing something, it is often found in everything around you by concentrating on service. And naturally, the active balance of spiritual service is sought. The search for God, it seems, is what you do. Then look at what is around you. Choose a path of your life. I think you feel the balance through the blockage of others, and the practice of this continues with God's will and a certain irrelevance of Christic wisdom and Christic power. Let it go, and allow God's law of forgiveness to bring about the supreme discernment. The balance created is for the perfection of God on this planet, and you are called with all my deepest love. In the cells of my church I am a father to you, and in Judea I wrote you my sacred role at heart. Thus, I will be a friend to your sacred mission of finding the true depths of your own experiences in all that you do and say. The spirit of the sacred fire is with me as a father. I will speak as a patriot about my growing and evolving church. I can ask a question, or more precisely, a question about the evolution of this church, or paraphrased, not what this church can do for you. It is with the spirit of patriotism that I come, and in this spirit of patriotism, I ask that you see how you can be a patriot for this church, supporting each other and this planet. I feel as if I am incarnated as George Washington, gathering those few patriots. So that power over Earth is in how you can act now. What you are doing will lead to the most powerful force of reality, forms of energy just like us, in forms of support and friendship at various times, with the intention that this church will flourish in the new age. This includes bringing within this sacred work as before, multiplying good in many aspects of your lives, and the people with our truth in return for the development of your own lives. Finally, this presence is being physically recreated again on this planet, instilling and transforming matter toward this planet once more as a loving patriot, witnessing the tradition, but more importantly, witnessing my church with men everywhere, committing their powers to perfection, the sacred fire of rays. Please witness me personally in Christ's reality for all those you can bless. The process will continue through the radiation, shining through you within the permanent golden age. So be it according to your loving free will. I promise you from my sacred heart, please allow your sacred heart to flourish. I love you all very deeply. The flame could go further than merely raising your attention and interest when it enters life. It will accelerate the awakening of the soul's powers and capabilities to serve, primarily to familiarize the consciousness with the flame, which is the vibration of deity and power. In space, through the rays of light, the flame is the animating principle of life. It becomes an expression. The flame is the first power, substance, and intelligent force of cosmic peace. It is all-powerful and a teacher. The cosmic flame is the power, intelligent life, and electronics that will become the created thing. It is the complete flame within itself. The flame is the power of achievement, and the garment of the idea will finally secure its form within the seed, the body of the tree, through its own emanation of light. Thus, the size of the original flame required to externalize its manifestation will mold the form. The flame is available to all who consciously are able to invoke the flame, the only power in the universe capable of producing loving gratitude. The immediate task is to use this electronic substance so that it may transform. The individuals who use it intelligently with respect to both its essence and the powers within it in this activity of independent testing are beyond the question. The flame, through invocation and direction, becomes the channel for its expenditure in the lower octave. Then, step aside and allow the pure essence to manifest its effects, the power that is the flame. Practice by becoming intelligent in attention and emotional devotion, the contact through which this substance acts. This truly makes a localized sun within and is the most powerful cosmic force. The conscious director of the cosmic flame is capable of magnetizing the electronic substance, the vibration that complements the vibration of life's current. It must enter into sustained empathy within any flame that is defined. How to invoke and direct the flame is not for you to experiment with the invocation and use it as an intelligent element capable of being independent. Allow the physical flame when you apply it to undesirable situations. Clearly define your idea and liberation, etc., and be certain that your request is universal. Ask the beings in charge of it, and let gratitude flood your feelings with their magnetic thoughts and emotions. The quality you wish to manifest will establish itself. You can say, "I am the hand of God, carrying the infinite power of money, health, or whatever you desire." Meditate and feel its independent, positive effect. Be a specialist in the desired quality, and direct your special service to individuals personally. At this moment, you and the Master are aligned with the path you have selected. Ask the Master to send you a flame, either from his temple of light, and see it and feel it. Then express deep gratitude, love, and blessing to the Master. With your arms extended, the substance and form of the flame will appear. Once the invoked flame acts, become the flame that has rendered the service demanded. Then, ask the Holy Christed being of the individual to continue the process. Afterward, make your request to the Master. It is a requirement for the student to have some involvement with the beings who dwell in the invisible hierarchy. I am the lower figure, representing the individualized body of God, which is the I am between the carnal body and the presence. The body is as tangible in its octave as it is illustrated in the diagram. This mental body has drawn around it, but the ray of light from the heart to the head fixes itself at the heart of the body. Energy, intelligence, and activity can move when your attention is directed to it. As energy intensifies and expands, the carnal body responds in kind. Then it absorbs all the denser qualities as this light around the carnal body begins to form. You may call this light invincible, so impenetrable that not even a bullet can pass through it, as it envelops you and prevents any thought or feeling from disturbing you. This is one of the violet flames that ascends through and around you, consuming and liberating your powerful creation. This is the only means by which undesirable accumulation can be dissolved. Everyone should call on the violet flame from the feet upward, as a flame driven by a powerful force. It removes any undesirable condition the human being has accumulated, enabling them to free themselves from the wheel of reincarnation. It is not necessary or imperative to use the flame only when it is too late. There is no human being on this earth who has not had discordant feelings or imperfect discordant thoughts, which vibrate discordantly within and around them. Even those who have attained ascension, including Jesus, have used the violet flame to dissolve their own human creations. The violet flame is the only means by which one can liberate themselves. At the very moment you sincerely and firmly begin the ascension, the practical part of this process starts. With firm attention to your presence, the light ray expands rapidly in every part of your being. As attention continues to focus on the presence, the energy is absorbed by the higher mental body of the human, disappearing from the face, and the hair returns to its natural color. The higher octaves then take over, and the most subtle part of the higher being ascends to the electronic body of the individual. The person becomes the ascended being, which is the eternal body of light, and never again subject to death. If one fails to maintain mastery or alignment, they must return to the physical body of a child, grow, and try again, striving to harmonize their body for enough time to gain the power of light and love, thereby expanding the energy of the ascended. That is, through ascension, the radiation accumulates all the good from past lives, energizing the individual with this great power. When enough attention is given to the presence, the accumulation of irritabilities and the tendencies of centuries can be released. The great mercy of the mighty presence allows you to see this discordant accumulation, so you can apply the violet flame and have it completely dissolved and consumed.